Hi guys. I'm still trying. Can you hear okay? Yes. Cool. The screen's a little wonky, so I can't really see how many viewers I have. I think it's just you. So I'm gonna go share on Facebook real quick and see. Jason's here. So, um, so just to kind of get you guys know, wow, I'm so great at this. Um, so just so you guys know, last time we did this, the way that we did it was we kind of went along. You guys choose the endings and the choices along the way. If we die or if the story ends, we just kind of went back and then chose a different route so we could see what else happened in the book. And I think we got through most of the book. It took about 3 hours to do the whole thing, but you guys could totally like pop in and out and would probably know exactly what is going on, at least most of it. So somebody's asking how many books we've read. I've only done this once before. This is number 2. So last week I did the first one on my Facebook page, and I decided to try and do it on Twitch instead, because there is so many, there's so much lag on Facebook. So yeah, you're right. I have to ignore the text until I have a question, because this is really confusing for me. So I have one thing I forgot real quick. I'm going to grab some little sticky note tabs so that we can keep track of where we're at in the book. So I will be right back. Okay, cool. So I got these guys. So from like forever ago. Yay for office supplies I bought 10 years ago and never used. So I'm going to get started here. I just want to start that I bought these books used online, and this one has 2 different previous owners' names in it. We've got Zach, and then also Brandon Martinez. He tried to sign up for the Goosebumps fan pack, but never quite finished. So let's see here. So introduction, so you guys know what's going to be going on tonight. We've got you can't believe you wasted your allowance on vampire in a can. It's the dumbest Halloween costume ever made. But wait, don't throw away the can. There's something else in there. A packet labeled danger. Do you dare open the packet or not? Either way, you're in grave trouble. What do you do when you start turning into a vampire? Is there a cure for being undead? What happens when your best friend starts looking like your next meal? How does a vampire deal with braces? And how do you protect yourself from a vampire dog? This scary adventure is all about you. You decide what will happen. You decide how terrifying the scares will be. So, here we go. I look like a nerd, don't I? Like a complete nerd, you moan to your friend Gabe. In the mirror, you see your costume and wince. Halloween is only a few days away. I'm doomed. You and Gabe have been the best friends for 2 years. Gabe has long brown hair, wire-rimmed glasses, and a way of giving advice that sometimes bugs you. You do look pretty stupid, Gabe admits. Where did you get that costume anyway? It's called Vampire in a Can, you explain, holding up the cardboard can. I bought it from Mr. Ruderly at Scary Stuff. I don't believe it, Gabe slaps his forehead. You bought a costume from the Eyeball Man? What if he took out his glass eye right there in the store and showed it to you? He never takes out his glass eye, you answered. Okay, Gabe says. But your costume is still ridiculous. It's just a set of plastic fangs, a cheap little black cape, and a fake tattoo of fang marks for your neck. Isn't there anything else in the can? You pick it up and peer inside. Hey, look, you cry. What? Gabe asks, looking interested. There is something else in the can, you answer. You reach in and pull out a small plastic packet that was stuck to the inside. It looks like a ketchup packet. What is it? Gabe moves closer. I think it's fake blood, you tell him. Really? Cool, Gabe says. He picks up the Vampire in a Can box and reads the label. That's weird. It doesn't say anything on the box about fake blood. Then you notice the writing on the packet. In blood-red letters, it says, Danger, keep away. You hand the packet to Gabe. He reads the label and his eyes grow wide. Are you going to open it? He asks. You gulp. The words on the packet are kind of scary, but you're dying to know what's inside. So, are you going to open it? Okay, you guys. If we open the packet, turn to page 34. If we don't open it, turn to page 67. This should be faster this time. Chew it open. Okay, we're opening it. Going to page 34. Oh yeah. Sticky. Yeah, you tell Gabe. I'll open it, give it back. Be careful, Gabe warns. You don't want to squirt that gunk all over your cute little cape. Thanks, joke boy, you grumble. First you try to rip open the packet with your fingernails, but the plastic won't tear. Frustrated, you pull the fake fangs out of your mouth. Then you put the packet between your teeth and yank hard. A syrupy liquid shoots out, spilling into your mouth. A tiny bit dribbles out, leaving a red streak on your chin. Yum, you say, slurping up the liquid. It's so good, you want to drink every drop. Quickly you squeeze the rest of the packet into your mouth. What is that stuff? Gabe asks, squinting at you. It definitely isn't ketchup, you reply. But it's excellent. I love it. It's gross, Gabe declares, scowling. It looks like blood. Real blood. Blood, you cry? Turn to page 50. No way that's blood, you say with a nervous laugh. But your heart starts beating a little faster. Could it be? You remember scraping your hand last week and licking the wound. This stuff tastes the same. Maybe, but right now you've got something else on your mind. I'm thirsty, you declare, rushing to the kitchen. I've got to get a drink. Gabe follows you, talking a mile a minute. If you didn't swallow, spit it out, he orders. Gargle with mouthwash, or maybe brush with peroxide toothpaste, or do both. Water, you groan. I'm so thirsty. I need water. You stick your mouth under the faucet to gulp from the tap, but as the water hits your tongue, you jerk away. Yuck, you exclaim. That tastes terrible. I thought you were thirsty, Gabe says, eyeing you strangely. I am, you tell him, but not for water, for something else. To find out what, turn to page 58. You desperately thirst for that red cranberry juice in the fridge, but when you sip some, you have to spit it out. It tastes lousy. I feel weird, you moan. How come the room got so bright? The light is killing my eyes. Before Gabe can answer, you race to your room at the back of the house. You close all the blinds. When Gabe catches up with you, you slam the door and turn off the light. You both stand in the darkness. Maybe you're coming down with the flu, Gabe suggests, popping some bubble gum into his mouth. You hope it's only the flu, but you have a bad feeling. You slowly turn and gaze into the mirror. No, you cry when you see what's staring back. Turn to page 72. You stare into the mirror. Nothing stares back at you. Of course, that's because the room is pitch black. But when you snap on the desk lamp, your worst fear comes true. You have no reflection. You're not there. Gabe peers into the mirror. He stops chewing his gum. Whoa, he breathes. What happened to you? You know what happened. You know why you have no reflection in the mirror. You're a vampire. You've got to help me, Gabe, you groan. Yikes, Gabe cries. What's happening to your teeth? My teeth, you say weakly? You touch your canines. With sickening shock, you feel them growing, turning into long, pointy fangs. I'm so thirsty, you moan. For blood. You stare longingly at Gabe's neck. Keep away from me, Gabe cries, stumbling backwards. You want to. You need to. But can you? Can you drink your best friend's blood? If you bite Gabe, turn to page 87. If you don't bite him, turn to page 103. Do it? Do what? Bite my best friend and drink his blood? No, you guys! I'm gonna bite Gabe. Can't believe you. Okay. 87. You gaze at Gabe's neck as if it were a tasty milkshake. I need some liquid refreshment, you say, drooling. Get away from me, he shrieks, taking off. You run after him and corner him in the kitchen. I know what'll stop a vampire, he wheezes. He reaches into the freezer and pulls out a steak. Gabe rams the frozen filet mignon into your chest. You need a steak to kill a vampire, you snarl. That's S-T-A-K-E, dope. You reach for his neck again. Gabe yanks out his bubble gum and jams it into your mouth. Smart move. By the time you unstick the gum from your fangs, you've come to your senses. Sorry, Gabe, you say. I lost my head. He accepts your apology, but you can see he still doesn't trust you. Not completely. You bury your face in your hands. What am I gonna do? I'm a vampire. Cruddy, blood-sucking vampire. Turn to page 99. Gabe starts pacing around the room. The way I see it, you've got 3 choices, he begins. Choice number 1. Go back to where you bought this stupid costume and ask the eyeball man to help. It's his fault you're a vampire, right? He sold it to you. Maybe, you agree. But what if he can't help? What else? Choice number 2. We do some research, Gabe continues. You know, rent a bunch of vampire movies, read up on ghouls like you, no offense, at the library. Stuff like that. Maybe we'll find out how to cure you. That sounds good, but it might take too long, you reply. What's my 3rd choice? The 3rd choice is the most dangerous, Gabe announces solemnly. What's my 3rd choice, Einstein, you repeat. The 3rd choice is to stay in your room and do nothing, Gabe says. Hide out and hope that this vampire thing wears off. That's dangerous because... I know, you interrupt him. Because what if it doesn't wear off? What if I can't stop myself from biting someone? So what are you going to do? Gabe asks quietly. There's a 4th choice, you tell him. Huh? What 4th choice? He asks nervously. Maybe being a vampire's way cool, you grin evilly. Maybe I should just go around biting people. You see a flicker of fear in Gabe's eyes and you love it. Make a choice. Choice number 1, go back to the eyeball man. Choice number 2, do your research about vampires. Choice number 3, hide out in your room and hope the vampire thing wears off. And choice number 4, you like being a vampire. This seems like we've got a lot of adventure about to happen, so any of these are probably pretty great. Choice 2, doing research about vampires. Page 45. Research, okay, we agree with research. 45. I say we go with plan 2, you tell Gabe. We do research. Maybe we can find a cure that way. Great, Gabe declares. I'll go to the video store and rent every vampire movie I can find. Be right back. But by the time Gabe returns, you're feeling weaker and thirstier than ever. Hurry, you whimper. Put in the tape. Gabe pops in a tape. He pushes the button, and Dracula's Excellent Adventure starts. Big mistake. Right off the bat, Dracula turns into a bat. He flies through a window and bites a woman on the neck. Now you've really worked up a thirst. I need blood, you cry, jumping up and flapping your arms like a big, goofy bat. Sit down and relax, Gabe shouts. He pulls you back on the couch. What are you doing? He demands. I was trying to turn into a bat and fly out of here, you admit sheepishly. Oh man, Gabe shakes his head. We're in deep trouble. He picks up the remote and turns off the videotape. Okay, he announces. Obviously this video thing isn't working. You're right, you agree. So now what? Now you pick up one of the other ideas I came up with, he says matter-of-factly. He's right. You hate it when it's right. He says go back to 116 and pick a different option from the list. Okay, so no more research. Anna and Alexa say we're going back to the eyeball man on page 26. I say we go back to Mr. Ruderly, you tell Gabe. Maybe he knows what was in that packet of... Don't say it, Gabe interrupts. Let's just go. You nod and stuff the costume back into the vampire in a can. You head for the kitchen door. Gabe pulls it open. A beam of daylight streams in. Hold it, you scream. You cringe, shielding your eyes from the light. You double over in burning pain. In a few seconds, you'll be crispy as a French fry. Close the door! Quick! You shout at Gabe. The light is killing me! Gabe slams shut the door and rushes over to you. You fan your face. It feels like you've got a mega sunburn. Finally, the pain goes away. What happened? Gabe asks. The light, you answer. Haven't you ever seen a Dracula movie? Vampires can't go outside in the daylight. Not even with sunblock on? Gabe jokes. Hey, wise guy. You want to be my lunchtime beverage, you snap? Sorry, murmurs Gabe. So now what? Now we wait, you reply grimly. Luckily it's October, so it gets dark early. You and Gabe hike to Scary Stuff, Mr. Ruderly's store. A block from the store, Jake grabs your arm. Jake. Jake is our friend from last time. It's going to be hard not having him reach in here. Gabe grabs your arm. Look, he shouts. It's the eyeball man. He's locking the door. Panting, you run the last block to Scary Stuff. You get there just as Mr. Ruderly is turning away to leave. His balding head shines in the moonlight. Excuse me, Mr. Mr. Ruderly, you call? He turns around and glares at you. Yes, he growls. I bought this costume, you stammer, showing him the vampire in a can. And, I accidentally opened the packet inside and, drank the stuff in it. Mr. Ruderly points to the label on the side of the can. See this? He says. There's a number to call if you have a problem. Now I must be going. Good night and good luck, he adds with a mysterious smirk. As Mr. Ruderly walks away, you and Gabe huddle under a streetlight. You read a message written on the can's label. It says, for problems with this costume, call 555-VAMPIRE. Calls accepted after dark only. Gabe whistles. Calls accepted after dark only. That's weird. Are you gonna phone? Staring at Gabe's neck, your thirst returns. The thirst for... You think. Don't think of blood. Too late. You've just thought of it. What choice do I have, you moan, and hurry to a payphone on the corner. You pick up the receiver and punch in the number. It rings 13 times before a man's voice answered. Thank you for calling Vampire in a Can, the voice says. How can I help you? Quickly, you explain your problem. Yes, the man says in a slithery tone. You must come to 999 Sanguine Road. We'll be here till midnight. And then he hangs up. Sanguine Road? Gabe exclaims when you tell him the address. I know that word. Sanguine, it means bloody. Stay away from there. I'm telling you, don't go. If you take Gabe's advice and don't go to the address, turn to page 70. If you ignore Gabe and go to the address, turn to page 91. Okay, go, go, go. I feel like, what choice do we have, you guys? We've got to go. We're ignoring Gabe. We're going to 91. You ignore Gabe's warning. I have to go, you tell him as you start walking. You don't understand. I don't want to be a vampire. Okay, Gabe answers, then I'm coming with you. An hour later, you're in a deserted part of town. An old brick factory stands at 999 Sanguine Road. The whole building is dark. On the front door is a sign reading, Office, ring bell. Whoa, Gabe cries. Check out the bats. Overhead, dozens of tiny bats circled wildly. They fly into a high, open window at the back of the factory. You feel drawn to them. Strange. The only other bat you've ever been attached to was your old Louisville slugger. We should follow the bats, you say. Let's check and see if we can get around in the back. No, Gabe begs. Let's ring the front bell. If we follow the bats, turn to page 44. If we go to the front door, turn to page 12. We are drawn to the bats. But the door does say to follow, to ring the bell, to go to the office. So, we got a tie. I need a tiebreaker, you guys. Door or bats? Door. Okay, we're going to the front door still. Page 12. Walking to the front of the building, you complain. I'm dying of thirst. Quit talking about death, offers Gabe. There's a buzzer outside the office. Gabe pushes it. Instantly, the office door swings open. A light comes on inside. You peer in and see a small waiting room. At the back is another door. The sign on the second door says, no admittance. But there's no one in the office. Who opened the door, you wonder? Gabe whispers. If this were a movie, I'd be screaming. Don't go inside, dummy! You must be a dummy. You step inside. Click, click, clack. What's that sound, you whisper? It's my knees knocking, Gabe explains. This place is terminally creepy. Let's just book home. Tell your parents the whole story and let them deal with it. No way, you declare. I'm staying till I get what I came for. As you bicker, the back door opens. A short, pudgy man walks into the office. Well, well, he says, giving you a fatherly smile. He doesn't look scary at all. You must be the one who called about vampire in a can. You nod and start to answer, but he keeps talking. Fine. Glad you found us so easily. I'm Herman Carmine. Come with me, he says, jerking his head towards the no admittance door. We'll fix you up in no time. Gabe steps forward. Not you, the man says firmly to Gabe. You stay here. Don't go, Gabe whispers loudly. It's a trap. Carmine squints at you. Look, he snaps. You came here for help. Do you want it or not? Yeah, you say. But you whisper to Gabe. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, come looking for me. Are you nuts? Gabe whispers back. If you're not back in 5, I'm calling the police. You nod. Then you follow Carmine through the no admittance door. It leads into a long, dark, twisting hallway. Where are we going, you ask anxiously. That's for me to know and you to find out, Carmine says with a cold laugh. Uh-oh, I don't like this, you think. Carmine opens the door leading into a cavernous space. The warehouse. The only light comes from some dim red bulbs. At the far end of the room, you see a row of coffins. Don't scream. Just hurry to page 68. In here, Herman Carmine says, motioning for you to come in. How stupid do you think I look? You sputter. You turn and run. Back through the twisting hallway. Back to the office where you left Gabe. Except, there's no Gabe. Where is he? Did he get scared and leave? No, he'd never leave without you. He's a loyal friend. Usually. But did he come looking for you? But you weren't even gone 5 minutes. Without warning, the no admittance door slams behind you, and then you hear a scream. Oh, you know that scream anywhere. It's Gabe's. Oh no, Gabe didn't leave. He was kidnapped. Gabe was right. You walked into a trap. You brought these vampires some fresh blood. What do I do now? You moan silently. If you search the building for Gabe, turn to page 104. If you go home to get help, turn to page 10. They ate it. They may have eaten him. Find my friend. Okay, we're going to search for Gabe on 104. In a panic, you pick up a chair. You hurl it through the window of the no admittance door, and then you reach through the broken glass and unlock the door from the other side. You've got to find Gabe. No matter how dangerous it is, you've got to find your friend, and fast. You hurry down the long, twisting hallway. Shattering glass crunches under your feet. In the dark, you sense the right direction, towards the door that Carmine opened, the one leading to the coffins. Vampires sleep in coffins, you think, as you near the door. You slowly turn the knob. Squeak! Uh-oh. Are the door's hinges rusty? No, it's only a mouse. The door opens noiselessly. You lift your foot and step across the threshold. But as you put your weight down, the wooden floor gives way and you start to fall. Fall all the way to page 117. A trap door! No, you scream. You're falling. You plummet through the musty smelling air for a few seconds, then thud. You land on a soft, damp pile of earth. It's pitch dark. You feel around the room is small. The walls seem to be made of rough stone, no windows. At last, your fingers find a wooden door. You try the knob. Yes, it turns. When the door opens, you hear voices, laughter. Your legs tremble with fear, but you force yourself to move. You step through the door and gasp. Before you is an enormous hall, filled with vampires. All heads in the room turn toward you. Welcome, a woman calls out. She's wearing a long red velvet gown. We've been expecting you. Everyone smiles at you. Their fangs glisten. You can't speak, can't run, can't do anything except take in this horrible scene. The room is stuffed with coffins, candelabras, and vampires. Some of them are lounging in their coffins, reading magazines and newspapers. A few hang upside down from the rafters like bats. How lovely of you to join us, the woman coos. I'm Countess Yvonne. Won't you come in and have something to drink? She sweeps her arm towards a huge stone table. On it are silver goblets filled with a red liquid. No thanks, you say. Where's Gabe? What have you done with him? We'll answer all your questions, Countess Yvonne replies, but first, have one drink. If you drink the red liquid, turn to page 49. If you refuse, go to page 5. Someone asked where I got my choker. This is actually my cat's collar that I am wearing. So I thought it's a little big for them. It's a little small for me. So, okay, we're going to drink. We're really thirsty after all, right? Going to 49. Drink the red liquid in one of those goblets. You think, Rule 1, never take candy from strangers. Rule 2, never take blood from strange vampires. But you suspect that the liquid in those goblets will really quench your thirst. All right, you agree, walking to the table. You lift a silver goblet to your lips. You swig it down, but it tastes terrible. Yuck, you exclaim. That's not blood. What is it? Vampire medicine, the Countess replies. To keep you well while you're asleep. Asleep for 100 years. She leans toward you. Sleep, she coos. Sleep. You stare into her eyes. Oh, you feel so heavy, so drowsy. The Countess is hypnotizing you. Your legs wobble, and then you slip to the ground. A vampire carries you to a black coffin. He lays you in it. Sleep, my friend, he murmurs, and reaches for a coffin lid. Wait, the Countess calls. Her face looms over the coffin. I promised to answer all your questions. Groggy, you manage to ask. Why? That vampire in a can idea was a mistake, the Countess explains. You see, we thought we needed some young blood. But you kid vampires. You're too good at finding victims. Soon there'll be more vampires than humans. So I've decided to put the young ones on ice. Don't worry, though. You'll have your turn. One day. Gabe, you mumble, as if calling out his name in a dream. Oh, Gabe, the Countess explains. We drank his blood. He's in the coffin next to yours. Now sleep tight, dear, she laughs a silvery laugh. And don't let the coffin bugs bite. The end. Oh. So, we both died. So that's awesome. Okay, so do you guys want to start over at the beginning and go back to the packet? Sean, we started at like about 7:10. But there's like so many more stories in this book. Okay, so so the last time we did it, we had a whole bunch of them that ended really, really quickly, and then we had one like really, really long one at the end, which was really great. So I'll just start over since some of you guys may have missed the beginning of the book too, and the packet's on page 2 anyway. So I look like a nerd, don't I? Like a complete nerd, you moan to your friend Gabe. In the mirror, you see your costume and wince. Halloween is only a few days away. I'm doomed. You and Gabe have been best friends for 2 years. Gabe has long brown hair, wire-rimmed glasses, and a way of giving advice that sometimes bugs you. You do look pretty stupid, Gabe admits. Where did you get that costume anyway? It's called Vampire in a Can, you explain, holding up the cardboard can. I bought it from Mr. Ruderly at Scary Stuff. I don't believe it, Gabe slaps his forehead. You bought a costume from the Eyeball Man? What if he took out his glass eye, right there with you in the store, and showed it to you? He never takes out his glass eye, you answer. Okay, Gabe says. But your costume is still ridiculous. It's just a set of plastic fangs, a cheap little black cape, and a fake tattoo of fang marks for your neck. Isn't there anything else in the can? You pick it up and peer inside. Hey, look, you cry. What? Gabe answers, looking interested. There is something else in the can, you answer. You reach in and pull out a small plastic packet that was stuck to the inside. It looks like a ketchup packet. What is it? Gabe moves closer. I think it's fake blood, you tell him. Really? Cool, Gabe says. He picks up the vampire in a can box and reads the label. That's weird. It doesn't say anything about fake blood on the box. Then you notice the writing on the packet. In blood red letters it says, "Danger, keep away." You hand the packet to Gabe. He reads the label and his eyes grow wide. "Are you going to open it?" he asks. You gulp. The words in the packet are kind of scary, but you're dying to know what's inside. So, are you going to open it? So, last time we opened it with our mouth and turned into vampires. And so this time we're not going to open it. We're going to go to 67. Open the packet, you wonder? No, I'll pass, you decide, shaking your head. I mean, seriously, it might be poison or something. Gabe tosses you the packet nervously. "This gives me the creeps," he says. "I don't even want to hold it." "Don't give it to me," you object, throwing it back at him. Gabe lets it fall to the floor. "I don't want it." Just then your dog comes trotting into the room. She snatches the packet up in her teeth. "Hey, no, Fifi!" You scold your dog, a big black poodle. "Put that down, no!" But you're too late. Fifi tears into the packet. Something red drips from her mouth. "Yuck," Gabe says. "She's eating it, and it looks like blood." Turn to page 83. Fifi slurps up the red liquid in the packet. "No, Fifi," you scold, trying to take it away. "Grrr," she growls at you angrily, her eyes gleaming. "Uh-oh," Gabe says. "What is she doing that for?" "I don't know," you answer, worried. "Fifi's never growled at you in her life." Grrr. When the packet is empty, Fifi drops it to the floor. Then she barks and runs to the kitchen door. She paws against the door with her front paws, clawing and digging. "I think she wants out," Gabe whispers. "Too bad," you say. "She can't go out if she's going to act like this." Grrr, ruff, ruff. Fifi snarls and barks at you, baring her teeth. "Oh no," you cry. "You can't believe what you're seeing. She's growing fangs." You try to control your dog. Page 95. Fifi snarls at you viciously, her lips curled back, exposing new, curved fangs. They're at least twice as long as they used to be, and razor sharp, like a vampire's. Fifi lunges at you. You back up, shocked. Your own dog is attacking you. With her weight, Fifi easily knocks you down. For an instant, you're sure she's going to bite your neck. You roll away from her, cowering. Howl! Her howling moan sounds crazy. She leaps at the kitchen door one more time. This time she breaks it down. "Stop her!" Gabe stutters. You're so shaken you stand there for a second. Then you grab Fifi's leash. "Come on," you shout, snapping out of it. "We've got to get her back." But just as you start to leave, the phone rings. If you answer the phone, turn to page 15. If you let it ring and run after Fifi, turn to page 41. Got one vote for 41. Run after her. 2. Okay, so running after the dog. That seems more important than answering the phone, I think. So, page 41. "Forget the phone," you shout. "We've got to catch Fifi. Come on." You dash out the kitchen door and down the steps, chasing your crazy dog. But Gabe doesn't follow. "I've got to answer the phone," Gabe calls after you. "It might be my mom. She said she'd call." "Okay," you shout. "I'll be back as soon as I can." Fifi's already way ahead of you. You see her about 5 houses away, darting into a neighbor's yard. But when you get to the yard, you stop and stare, amazed at what's lying on the grass. "Buttermilk?" you call softly. It's the big golden retriever that belongs to the Berklings. The fuzzy yellow dog is on his side, motionless. But that's not what scares you. What scares you are the 2 little bite marks on his neck, streaked with blood. "Oh no," you think. "No!" For an instant you close your eyes. You don't want to look. But even with your eyes closed, you can imagine what happened. Fifi bit the Berkling's dog. No, it was worse than that, you have to admit. Much worse. Fifi built Buttermilk and drank his blood. "Buttermilk, poor boy," you say, petting him. "Is he dead, you wonder?" You place your ear close to his chest and listen. All at once, the golden retriever turns his head, opens his mouth, and snaps in your face. "Yow!" you cry, jerking away from the vicious dog. But Buttermilk is fast. He lunges at you, bearing long, sharp fangs. His hot breath stinks. Oh no! He's a vampire dog too! Get off, Buttermilk, you command. You push him away and scramble to your feet. Buttermilk lunges at you. Yikes, you shout. You dash across the Berkeley's yard and jump the fence. You run around the back. There, on the back patio, are 3 more dogs, all bitten on the neck, all changing into vampire dogs. 2 of them are dachshunds. The 3rd is a big mutt. They lift their head and sniff the air, and then they all howl and leap at you. You race to the gate, then skid to a stop. Buttermilk is waiting just outside the fence. The vampire dogs close in on you. A small set of teeth clamps down on your leg. Hey, get off me, you yell. You jerk your leg so hard the dachshund goes flying. He lands with a splash in a kitty wading pool. For an instant, the other 2 dogs look away, surprised. It gives you time to glance around quickly, looking for escape routes. There's a door leading from the patio into the garage. If you hurry, you might be able to hide in the garage before the dogs get you. But you might be trapped in there. Or you can make a dash for the house. But what if the sliding glass doors are locked? Well, do something, fast. If we dash for the garage, turn to page 136. If we run to the house, to page 93. Hi, Martha. Welcome. It's okay. We died once and then we started over. And now our dog has turned into a vampire dog. And now there are many vampire dogs and we are trying to run away from them. So we are going to the garage. Page 136. Is there a 136? Yes. You make a break for the garage. Yip, yip. The dogs give chase. You yank open the side door and slip inside. You pull it shut just in time. The frustrated dogs yap from the other side of the door. Then you see something yellow and hairy thudding against the garage door window. Buttermilk! What if he breaks the glass? What if he gets in? Then you're dead meat. Woof, woof, woof. You peek out of the garage door window. 2 more vampire dogs have joined the group. One is a Doberman. The other is a pit bull. Where's Gabe, you wonder? Then you remember. He's waiting at your house for a phone call. A phone call? That gives you an idea. You rush over to the car parked in the garage and peek in the window. 46. Yes, you shout. There's a cellular phone inside the car. You slide into the front seat. Finger shaking, you dial your home phone number. It rings 6 times. Finally, Gabe answers. Listen, you spit out. I'm trapped in the garage of the greenhouse down the street. Come help me. Why are you trapped? Gabe asks. Because of the vampire dogs, you cry. Fifi bit all the dogs in the neighborhood. She turned them into crazed vampires, and now they've got me cornered. And you want me to come risk my life? Gabe demands. Later, dude. Wait, you plead. There's got to be something you can do. Yeah, I can call the dog catcher, Gabe says firmly. No, you shriek. I don't want them to catch Fifi. If they see her fangs, they'll put her to sleep. Leave it to me, Gabe orders, hanging up the phone. Uh-oh, what is Mr. Know-It-All going to do? You crouch down in the garage and wait it out. Outside, the dogs keep howling, clawing at the door. They smell me, you realize in horror. They smell my blood. Finally, an hour later, you hear Gabe's voice outside. You jump up and peer out the window. To your surprise, he's carrying a bunch of dog biscuits. He walks straight towards the vampire dogs. Here, Buttermilk, here, boy, he calls. You watch, amazed, as Gabe tosses a dog biscuit to each vampire dog. One by one, they calm down. Their fangs shrink, then disappear. The howling stops. Fifi comes trotting towards Gabe with her fangs dripping blood. Then when Gabe gives her a dog biscuit, Fifi wags her tail. She gulps down the biscuit. Suddenly, she becomes a normal, lovable dog again. Sighing with relief, you cautiously open the garage door and come out. You give Fifi a big hug. Then you turn to Gabe. Wow, you exclaim. How'd you do that? I'll never tell, Gabe says mysteriously. Unless you let me drink your blood. You turn to page 6. You back up, heart pounding with fear. What now? Is Gabe a vampire too? Did Fifi bite him? Gabe bursts out laughing. Ha ha, got you good, he says, doubling over. You creep, you yell. Gabe laughs again, then tells you the truth. It was easy, he said. I just ran over to the Eyeball Man's store. I remembered seeing something in there called dog in a can. So I bought a bunch of them. Sure enough, There are these little packets inside. They said, danger, keep away, just like the one on the blood packet. So I opened one, and it was a dog biscuit. I figured it was worth a try. You mean you gave the biscuits to the vampire dogs, and they changed back, you gasp? Excellent. Then an idea hits you. A great idea. Do you have one of those special dog biscuits left, you ask? Yeah, Gabe replies, so what? Give me one, you say. I think I want to be a dog for Halloween. The end. I guess, in the last book, I think there was like one time that there was a positive ending, and I feel like we just found like the one positive ending, you guys, so good job. I feel like we should go back to the We Became a Vampire story. I feel like it's going to be like a little bit more entertaining than the dog one. I feel like there are more options and stuff. Let's see where we were. Okay, so I just have to find the right tab for that story. Oh no, I gotta find the beginning. Okay, so instead of, we're gonna open the packet again, which was on page 34. So I'll open it. Give it back. Be careful, Gabe warns. You don't want to squirt that gunk all over your cute little cape. Thanks, joke boy, you grumble. First you try to rip open the packet with your fingernails, but the plastic won't tear. Frustrated, you pull the fake fangs out of your mouth, and then you put the packet between your teeth and yank hard. A syrupy liquid shoots out, spilling into your mouth, and tiny bits dribble out, leaving a red streak on your chin. Yum, you say, slurping up the liquid. It's so good. You want to drink every drop. Quickly you squeeze the rest of the packet into your mouth. What is that stuff? Gabe asks, squinting at you. It definitely isn't ketchup, you reply, but it's excellent. I love it. It's gross, Gabe declares, scowling. It looks like blood. Real blood. Blood, you cry? No way that's blood, you say with a nervous laugh. But your heart starts beating a little faster. Could it be? You remember scraping your hand last week and licking the wound. This stuff tastes the same. Maybe. But right now you've got something else on your mind. I'm thirsty, you declare, rushing to the kitchen. I've got to get a drink. Gabe follows you, talking a mile a minute. If you didn't swallow, spit it out, he orders. Gargle with mouthwash, or maybe brush with a peroxide toothpaste, or do both. Water, you groan. I'm so thirsty, I need water. You stick your mouth under the faucet to gulp from the tap, but as the water hits your tongue, you jerk away. Yuck, you exclaim. That tastes terrible. I thought you were thirsty, Gabe says, eyeing you strangely. I am, you tell him, but not for water, for something else. You desperately thirst for that red cranberry juice in the fridge, but when you sip some, you have to spit it out. It tastes lousy. I feel weird, you moan. How come the room is so bright? The light is killing my eyes. Before Gabe can answer, you race to your room at the back of the house. You close all the blinds. When Gabe catches up with you, you slam the door and turn off the light. You both stand in darkness. Maybe you're coming down with the flu, Gabe suggests, popping some bubble gum into his mouth. You hope it's only the flu, but you have a bad feeling. You slowly turn and gaze into the mirror. No, you cry when you see what's staring back. Turn to page 72. You stare into the mirror. Nothing stares back at you. Of course, that's because the room is pitch black. But when you snap on the desk lamp, your worst fear comes true. You have no reflection. You're not there. Gabe peers into the mirror. He stops chewing his gum. Whoa, he breathes. What happened to you? You know what happened. You know why you have no reflection in the mirror. You're a vampire. You've got to help me, Gabe, you groan. Yikes, Gabe cries. What's happening to your teeth? My teeth, you say weakly. You touch your canines. With a sickening shock, you feel them growing, turning into long, pointy fangs. I'm so thirsty, you moan. For blood? You stare longingly at Gabe's neck. Keep away from me, Gabe cries, stumbling backwards. You want to. You need to. But can you? Can you drink your best friend's blood? Okay, so if we bite Gabe, we turn to page 87. If we don't bite him, turn to page 103. Get some dog treats here. I don't know if those are going to help at this point. Last time we did bite him, but there were many options after that, so we can go ahead and do it. Or don't do it. I don't know. I got half and half. Okay, I got a don't and a bite. And another bite. Oh, and a bite the shit out of him. Don't do it. Okay, I feel like there's more bites, so we're going to bite him again. Okay, 87. You gaze at Gabe's neck as if it were a tasty milkshake. I need some liquid refreshment, you say, drooling. Get away from me, he shrieks, taking off. You run after him and corner him in the kitchen. I know what'll stop a vampire, he wheezes. He reaches into the freezer and pulls out a steak. Gabe rams the frozen filet mignon into your chest. You need a steak to kill a vampire, you snarl. That's S-T-A-K-E, dope. You reach for his neck again. Gabe yanks out his bubblegum and jams it into your mouth. Smart move. By the time you unstick the gum from your fangs, you've come to your senses. Sorry, Gabe, you say. I lost my head. He accepts your apology, but you can see he still doesn't trust you. Not completely. You bury your face in your hands. What am I going to do? I'm a vampire. A cruddy, blood-sucking vampire. Turn to page 99. Gabe starts pacing around the room. The way I see it, you've got 3 choices, he begins. Choice number 1. Go back to where you bought this stupid costume and ask the eyeball man to help. It's his fault you're a vampire, right? He sold it to you. Maybe, you agree. But what if he can't help? What else? Choice number 2. We do some research, Gabe continues. You know, rent a bunch of vampire movies, read up on ghouls like you. No offense, at the library. Stuff like that. Maybe we'll find out how to cure you. That sounds good, but that might take too long, you reply. What's my third choice? The third choice is the most dangerous, Gabe announces solemnly. 160. What's my third choice, Einstein? You repeat. The third choice is to stay in your room and do nothing. Hide out and hope that this vampire thing wears off. That's dangerous because... I know, you interrupt him. Because what if it doesn't wear off? What if I can't stop myself from biting someone? So what are you going to do? Gabe asks quietly. There's fourth choice, you tell him. Huh? What fourth choice? He asks nervously. Maybe being a vampire's cool, you grin evilly. Maybe I should just go around biting people. You see a flicker of fear in Gabe's eyes and you love it. So choice number 1, go back to the eyeball man. Choice 2, do the research about vampires. Choice 3, hide out in your room and hope the vampire thing wears off. And choice 4, you like being a vampire. So when we did it before, we did the research, and so Gabe went and rented a bunch of vampire movies, and it just made me more thirsty and didn't help. So then we went to go find the eyeball man. The eyeball man told us to call a number on the back of the can, and we did, and we went to this weird vampire place, and they killed Gabe, and they were vampires, and they locked me away for 100 years because they didn't want young vampires anymore. So we still could go to the eyeball man and make different choices that way, or we could hide in our room or decide we like being a vampire. So those are the 3 choices now. So hiding out, stay a vampire, hide out, do nothing. Anyone else? I need some more. I need some more help. Hide out. It's hide out versus like being a vampire. I got a couple choices in there. Stay a vampire. Okay, we're just gonna stay a vampire. We're gonna see what happens. We decided we like being a vampire. Turn to page 80. I don't like that look on your face, Gabe says, backing away from you. What are you gonna do? You give Gabe a sly smile. I'm just gonna have a little fun as a vampire. Are you nuts? Gabe sputters. You can't do that. You can't go around biting people and drinking their blood. Don't worry, you tell Gabe. I won't bite you. But how about people we hate? Like Robbie Morgan or Mrs. Winesap. Mrs. Winesap lives down the block. She kept your frisbee once when it landed in her flower garden. Gabe laughs a sort of sick, weak laugh. That old bat, he says. She is pretty mean, but... Leave it to me, you tell Gabe. But right now, I've got to get some sleep. You glance around your room for a comfortable place to sleep. You finally spot one and climb into position, hanging upside down from a chin-up bar in your doorway, with your arms folded across your chest like a bat. When you wake up a couple of hours later, the sun is set. A shiver of excitement runs down your spine. You climb out your bedroom window and slip into the night. This will be a blast, you think. Vampires rule. You slink through the neighborhood, rats and mice meekly approaching you. You are their master. Cool, you whisper to yourself. I'm the king of the rodents. Who will be your first victim? You'll find her name on page 48. Maybe. You reach nasty old Mrs. Winesap's house. You ring her bell. The door opens. Who's bothering me at dinner time? She demands crossly. You open your mouth wide. Time for revenge. Then the smell hits you. Mrs. Winesap has been eating garlic bread. Garlic? The downfall of all vampires. The reek makes you dizzy. If you're here to get your silly frisbee back, you can forget about it, Mrs. Winesap snaps. She slams the door in your face. You sit on her doorstep, heaving. I'm such a loser vampire, you think. You stumble from Mrs. Winesap's house and walk aimlessly, in a daze. When you look up, you find you've entered a cemetery, and you're standing next to an open grave. You peer in. The grave is empty. Crack! You hear a sound behind you. Something tells you to get out of there, fast. But the empty grave pulls you to it. Graves, they seem so cozy, so comforting, so homey. The footsteps come closer. Make a choice before it's too late. Quick. If I hide in the open grave, turn to page 61. If I stay and face whoever's coming, turn to page 29. What a bee! 29. We're going to be brave. We're going to face them. Oh, no, we're half and half now. Nope. Yes. Hide. Oh, we got more hides. More hides happening. Okay, we're going to hide in the open grave. It's really cozy looking. It's 61. Your instincts tell you to hide, so you quickly jump into the open grave and crouch down. Crunch, crack. Footsteps. They come closer. Crack, crunch, smash. What is that, you wonder? Sounds like someone dragging something through the woods. You crouch lower, huddling in one corner of the grave. All at once, something large and heavy is hurled into the grave. It lands on your head. Thud. It's about the size of... No! You scream when you realize what it is. Someone's thrown a dead body into the grave. Ugh! Pinned down by a creepy corpse. You should never pay attention to your instincts. You can't budge the body. You can hardly move. Help! You cry. Get me out of here! Help! In answer, shovels of wet earth rain down on your head. You're being buried alive. Page 73. You scream and scream, but no one's listening. Whoever's up there keeps shoveling in dirt. The earth falls in faster and faster. It fills your mouth until you can no longer scream. In minutes, you're completely buried. You know you should really panic now, but instead, a warm, cozy feeling sweeps over you. Oh well, you think as you settle into the comfortable grave. This is the perfect place for a nap. After all this excitement, you're feeling tired. Dead tired. The end. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to go back to the footsteps, and instead of hiding in the grave, we're going to face them this time. See what happens. So, face whoever's coming, turn to page 29. Slowly, you turn around to see who's behind you. Good evening, a dark, shadowy figure whispers. I see you found my home away from home. The shadowy figure steps forward. A beam of moonlight strikes his face. then his fangs, then the glass eye sitting on his palm. Mr. Rudderly, you cry? Go to page 112. Mr. Rudderly is the guy that owns the shop that you bought this kit from, if anyone didn't get that part. Oh no, what page was it? I lost it already. Sorry guys. 112, okay. Yes, Mr. Rudderly hisses. Mr. Rudderly, you gasp. You're a vampire? I'm glad we can see eye to eye on that, he snickers, putting his glass eye back in. The salesman gave me quite a discount on those vampire in a can costumes, he adds with a soft chuckle. He said it was because we're blood brothers. What a yuckmeister, you mutter sarcastically. Well, I suppose we should be talking in a more serious vein, Rudderly says. He cackles. Vein. Get it? Vein. He swoops down on you suddenly, wrapping you in his cape. He lifts you off the ground. Then he jumps into the deep, wet grave. This is no joke. Help! You scream as you and the eyeball man fall into the open grave. You land with a thud. Hush, Rudderly commands. Do you want to wake the dead? He laughs hard at his own dumb joke. Then he becomes serious. Not long ago I was ill, close to death, but the vampires came, offering to make me a blood brother, to give me eternal life, in return for selling vampire in a can. Let me go, you cry, pushing away from him. Quiet, Mr. Rudderly says. I'm trying to help you. I'll show you all the tricks of our trade, and I only ask one thing in return. What is it, you ask fearfully. You know the answer isn't going to be pleasant, but you might as well hear it. Go to page 124. Mr. Rudderly bares his fangs. I want just one thing from you, he breathes. Blood. Your eyes widen in fear. No, no, Mr. Rudderly says quickly. Not your blood. You're one of us. But I'm running out of humans who trust me, humans I can get close to. You, on the other hand, have many young human friends. My friends, you whisper, horrified? Mr. Rudderly nods. Yes. Or your enemies. I don't care. Just get me into their homes, at night. You want me to betray my friends, you ask, outraged? In return, I'll teach you everything you need to know about vampiring, Rudderly offers. Because otherwise you're bound to make mistakes. You're so young. Mistakes? What mistakes? If you want to hear more about his offer, turn to page 31. If you refuse to listen and run away, turn to page 52. Whoever just joined and asked about my costume with the makeup, I am dressed as the poodle from the front of the book. So that's me, the vampire dog. I just don't have any fangs today. So page 31. We're going to listen to his offer, because how else are we going to learn to vampire? What do you mean I'll make mistakes, you demand? Oh, you know, Rudderly shrugs. You'll get careless about who you bite and when. Someone will see you, and pretty soon the whole town will be hunting you down. The next thing you know, you'll be trying to drive a stake through your heart. Being undead is no picnic, believe me. Whoa, you think, he's right. There's a lot you don't know about being a vampire. Maybe having a teacher isn't a bad idea, you say. And all you have to do is find me young victims? Rudderly holds out his hand. So, do we have a deal? If you agree to his terms, turn to page 17. If you don't agree, turn to page 52. I mean, he did say that we could take our enemies and not just our friends, so... Disagree? You don't want to take... We're not going to take his deal? I got one vote for disagree. I need some more votes, y'all. Agree. Kill the enemies. Okay. More votes. Okay. No more votes? Okay. Agree. Turn to page 17. Okay, you agree. You shake Rudderly's hand. I'll do it. He rubs his hands together. Good, let's go. Holding you, Rudderly spreads his cape like bat wings. As if by magic, the two of you float straight out of the grave. You land among the cemetery's gravestones. Wow, you gush amazed. Can you teach me that trick? Later, Rudderly answers. Now lead me to your young friends. I'm quite thirsty. Who will it be? That's easy. Robbie Morgan. Robbie's 3 years older than you, and he lives on your block. He's always grabbing your bike. He calls you rat face in front of your friends. I know just the guy, you tell Mr. Ritterly. Excellent, Mr. Ritterly declares. Lead the way. 42. Slinking through your neighborhood, you glance nervously at the cars that pass by. You feel paranoid. Can people tell you're vampires? Don't act so suspiciously, Mr. Ritterly advises you. That's my first tip. See? I told you you needed my help. Don't act suspiciously, you think? Well, duh. And never smile at anyone unless you plan to bite them, he goes on. People feel uneasy when they see fangs. Oh, brother, you roll your eyes. More hot news. A minute later, you arrive at Robbie Morgan's house. This is it, you tell Rurley. What should I do? Nothing, he answers. He glances at the house, then the garage. Lights on in the house, but no cars in the driveway. Perfect. His parents must not be home. Mr. Ruderly goes up to the door and rings the bell. The door opens, and Gabe steps out. Before you can warn him, Ruderly grabs Gabe by the shoulders and bites his neck. Turn to page 69. For anyone that didn't know, Gabe is our best friend. Don't bite him! That's my best friend, you shout. But it's too late. Mr. Ruderly's fangs are already piercing Gabe's neck. You hear a horrible slurping sound. Gabe struggles and kicks like a madman. Stop, you scream, kicking Ruderly in the shins. Finally, he drops Gabe on the doorstep like an empty can of soda. Oh, turn to page 90. You killed my best friend, you scream at Mr. Ruderly. He's not dead, Mr. Ruderly answers calmly. He's just changing into one of us. What's happening? A voice calls from inside the house. You glance up and see Robbie at the front door. Mr. Ruderly grabs Robbie and drains his blood. Then he drops Robbie on the doorstep beside Gabe. Ah, Ruderly sighs. Well, I'm off. I think I'll walk. I'm always having trouble flying after a heavy meal. He waves. See ya, kid. You gaze into Gabe's eyes and watch his last flicker of humanity fading. What are you doing at Robbie's house, you ask. I came to warn him, Gabe answers. About you. Just then a car pulls in the driveway. Oh no, Robbie's parents are home. If you think you can talk your way out of this, turn to page 108. If you'd rather not try, turn to page 23. Whoever was commenting about the Poodle Goosebumps book, this is the second one that I've read. The first one was number 12, Welcome to the Wicked Wax Museum. And I have 12 more on their way to my house. So I'm going to keep going for a while, you guys. So we'll have plenty of adventures to share. We're going to try talking our way out of it. We're going to go to 108. You think you can talk your way out of this? Ha! That's a good one. Just picture it. 2 bodies, each with 2 small holes in the side of the neck, and you've got 2 fangs. It's a no-brainer. Mr. and Mr. Morgan are going to call the police. You're hauled off to jail. Your own parents are so ashamed they won't even testify as character witnesses for you at the trial. The jury quickly convinces you of a double murder. Convicts you. You get a life sentence. Well, at least you have plenty of victims in jail, you think. Unfortunately, they put you in solitary confinement permanently. You sit in your tiny cell growing weaker and weaker, but you can never die. For you, a life sentence is really an eternity. The end. So, okay, that wasn't the right answer, you guys. So we're going to go back. We're not going to try and talk our way out of it. We're going to go to 23 instead. The minute you see Robbie's parents in the driveway, you panic and run. Down the steps, across the front lawn, into the street. You run all the way to the park at the end of the street. Then you hide in the bushes. Ree, 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 ree. A police siren pierces the stillness of the night. Uh-oh, that's right, you forgot. Robbie Morgan's dad is a police officer. Then you hear Mr. Morgan's voice on his police loudspeaker. He's calling your name. You've been recognized. You dart out of the bushes and you dash off into the night. You don't think about where you're going. All you know is that you've got to get away. Away from the horror of seeing your best friend bitten and turned into a vampire. You're smart, so you manage to sneak through the bushes and back alleys and escape Mr. Morgan. Pretty soon the police siren fades away. You make your way to a town where no one knows you. You get a job at a diner, working the night shift, of course. A few years later, you meet and fall in love with a customer, who also turns out to be a vampire. You marry and have lots of little immortal vampires, and you live happily ever after, and after, and after, and after. The end. So, okay. Let's see. Where should we go back, you guys? Another happy ending. I guess it is a happy ending when you have a beautiful vampire spouse. And the book says there are over 20 different scary endings. Last time we did this, I don't know if we found all of them. I don't think we did, but we just read for like 3 hours and couldn't think of anywhere else to turn to find other options. Okay, so choose to do nothing. I don't think I bookmarked that part, so okay, so where was the do nothing? So just hiding out. Oh, when I first turn into a vampire. Okay, I can find that one. Okay. Don't open it. Open the packet on 34. Go to page 50. Everyone, Binks has decided to join the stream with us. Say hi, Binks. Say hi to everyone. No, she's invisible because she's black, so. Okay, 58. Page 72. Okay, we hit page 187. Stop licking me! I'm the page 99. I'm the page 116. Okay. Okay, so when we first turned into a vampire, instead of liking being a vampire, we decide to hide out in our room and hope the vampire thing wears off. So, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by figuring out how listeners can get in a message thing. We could use Discord if you guys wanted like a group chat on the side. Or, I mean, even I could be involved in the group chat and we could all do it together, I think. But I've never done it before, so that's just getting it onto Twitch was step 1. So I feel okay about this. And then maybe by the time next week comes around, I'll be able to add even more things. I'm really hoping I can put in like a poll so that you guys can just click on like option 1, 2, 3, 4 in the poll and vote on there, and then I can use that. And I think that'll be super cool, but at this point, I don't know how to do it. So, okay, we've just become a vampire, and Gabe is at our house with us, and we're trying to decide what to do. We're going to hide in our room and hope the vampire thing wears off. Turning to page 9. Sound effects. Oh, cool. Should I just I have like a creepy Halloween sound effects CD I could just play quietly in the background? Would that be good? I think I'll go for choice number 3, you tell Gabe. I'm tired. Maybe if I take a nap, this whole vampire thing will wear off. Yeah, Gabe nods, but he looks nervous. You can tell he's wondering, what if it doesn't wear off? You're wondering about that too. You scribble a note to your parents. It says that you're sick and you've gone to bed. Then you send Gabe home. You curl up in your bed for a long nap. When you open your eyes, it's 10 o'clock at night, and you're thirstier than ever. You race to the mirror hanging in your closet door. Nothing. No reflection. You're not there. I've got to have blood, you say out loud. Go to page 30. Hello, Binks. Oh, thank you for that. She's just sitting on my shoulders now. Honey, are you awake? A voice calls from the hallway. Uh-oh, Mom. Yeah, I'm up. But I'm still not feeling too well, you call back. Your mom pushes open the door and comes in. Should I take your temperature? She asks, sounding worried. Here, open your mouth and let me look at your tongue. Yikes, you don't want your mom to see your fangs. Or do you? Maybe she can help. If you want to show your mom your fangs, turn to page 21. If not, turn to page 78. Oh, sound effects in Twitch. Well, maybe you can... I still need someone to teach me how to use Twitch, so we'll see what we can get for extra fun stuff. Okay, 78. I got one, Mom isn't helpful, and one, show her. So, more votes? Don't show her. Okay, we're not showing Mom. So, we're going to page 78. No, you snap at your mom. You pull away, so she can't look at your mouth. You don't want her to see your fangs. I mean, it's not my throat or anything, you explain. It's my stomach. I think I'm gonna throw up. Oh dear, your mom says, backing away. Your mom is kind of squeamish about throwing up. In fact, you groan. Leaping out of bed, you run to the bathroom and slam the door. You quickly fill a glass with water. Then, really loudly, you make the sound of throwing up. At the same time, you pour the whole glass of water down the toilet. It sounds just like the real thing. Wipe your mouth and turn to page 19. You pop your head out the bathroom door. If I get some sleep, I'll be okay, you tell your mom. Okay, honey, she answers. She blows you a kiss. See you in the morning. When you wake up the next day, you tell your mother you're still sick. She believes you. After all, the color seems to have drained out of your skin. Be sure to drink lots of liquids, your mom says as she hurries off to work. Don't worry, you call back. That's just what I had in mind. Page 62. Drink lots of liquids. But for you, only one beverage will hit the spot. Blood. You're so desperate, you're tempted to bite your pet poodle, Fifi, on the neck. But instead, you spend the day with the blinds drawn, snoozing. After school, Gabe comes over. I don't think this vampire thing is wearing off, you tell him. We've got to go back to Mr. Ritterly's store. Fine, Gabe shrugs. But stay away from the eyeball man. His glass eye is creepy. Gabe heads to your bedroom door and yanks it open. A beam of sunlight streams into your room from the hall. You twist away, feeling a searing pain. No! Close the door, quick! You shout at Gabe. The light is killing me. Turn to page 54. Oh, man. Okay. So, this is the show. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So we're repeating a section we did before, but we can still go through this and just make a different choice later on. So, Gabe slams shut the door and rushes over to you. You fan your face. It feels as if you've got a mega sunburn. Finally, the pain goes away. What happened? Gabe asks. The light, you answered. Have you ever seen a Dracula movie? Vampires can't go outside in daylight. Not even with sunblock on? Gabe jokes. Hey, wise guy, you want to be my lunchtime beverage? You snap. Sorry, murmurs Gabe. So now what? Now we wait, you reply grimly. Luckily, it's October, so it gets dark early. You and Gabe hike to Scary Stuff, Mr. Ruderly's store. A block from the store, Gabe grabs your arm. Look, he shouts. It's the eyeball man. He's locking the door. Hurry to page 76. Panting, you run the last block to Scary Stuff. You get there just as Mr. Ruderly's turning away to leave. His balding head shines in the moonlight. Excuse me, Mr. Mr. Ruderly, you call. He turns around and glares at you. Yes, he growls. I bought this costume, you stammer, showing him the vampire in a can. And, I accidentally opened the little packet inside and, drank the stuff in it. Mr. Ruderly points to the label on the side of the can. See this? He says. There's a number to call if you have a problem. Now I must be going. Good night. And good luck, he adds with a mysterious smirk. As Mr. Ruderly walks away, you and Gabe huddle under a streetlight. You read a message written on the can's label. It says, for problems with this costume, call 555-VAMPIRE. Calls accepted after dark only. Turn to page 39. Gabe whistles. Calls accepted after dark only. That's weird. Are you gonna phone? Staring at Gabe's neck, your thirst returns. The thirst for, you think, don't think about blood. Too late. You just thought of it. What choice do I have, you moan, and hurry to a payphone on the corner. You pick up the receiver and punch in the number. It rings 13 times before a man's voice answers. Thank you for calling Vampire in a Can, the voice says. How can I help you? Quickly, you explain your problem. Yes, the man says in a slithery tone. You must come to 999 Sanguine Road. We'll be here until midnight. Then he hangs up. Sanguine Road, Gabe exclaims when you tell him the address. I know that word. Sanguine means bloody. Stay away from there. I'm telling you, don't go. If we take Gabe's advice, turn to page 70. If we ignore Gabe, turn to page 91. So are we going to the place that the guy on the telephone told us to go, or not? 70. We're taking Gabe's advice. We're not going to go to we're going to stay away from the address. Telephone pole? Listen to Gabe. Okay. So we're going to go to page 70. Sanguine means bloody? Yikes. You're right, you decide. I better not go there. Gabe lets out a sigh of relief. Good. But now what? I'm going home to get some sleep. Maybe this thing will wear off by morning, you answer. What if it doesn't? Gabe asks. Then we try one of your other ideas, you reply. Call me tomorrow. You hurry home and curl up in bed. As you pull the covers up, you snag the blanket on your fang. This bites, you think, as you drift off to sleep. Wake up on 126. You sleep so soundly, almost nothing wakes you. Not the phone ringing the next morning, not your mom calling you over and over, saying the phone's for you. Finally, your mom marches into your room. She pulls open the blinds, letting the sun pour in. Phone for you, she says. It's Gabe. He says he's found a cure, whatever that means. A cure? Great. As you begin to smile, your mom yanks off the blankets. Come on, sleepyhead, she urges. As bright sunlight hits your face, you screech in pain. Oops. Too bad your mom didn't know you were a vampire. A vampire who can't stand daylight. She just burned you to a crisp. Good thing it's time for breakfast, because you're toast. The end. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to go to the address, even though Gabe says we shouldn't go to the address. We're going to 91. You ignore Gabe's warning. I have to go, you tell him as you start walking. You don't understand. I don't want to be a vampire. Okay, Gabe answers. Then I'm coming with you. An hour later, you're in a deserted part of town. An old brick factory stands at 999 Sanguine Road. The whole building is dark. On the front door is a sign reading, Office, ring bell. Whoa, Gabe cries. Check out the bats. Overhead, dozens of tiny bats circle wildly. They fly into a high, open window at the back of the factory. You feel drawn to them. Strange. The only other bat you've ever been attached to was your old Louisville slugger. We should follow the bats, you say. Let's check and see if we can get in around back. No, Gabe begs. Let's ring the front doorbell. Ooh, mess it up. If you follow the bats, turn to page 44. If you go in the front door, turn to page 12. Bats. 44. We following the bats. We got choices in both directions, folks. I need some more help. Decisions. Okay, I got 2 votes for bats. Let's go for bats. Turn to page 44. We'll follow the bats, you snap. With a shudder, you realize you'd rather hang out with bats than with Gabe. Come on, you command, hurrying to the back of the factory. You seem to know where you're going, Gabe says, trying to keep up with you. Somehow, you do know. You're following some kind of inner radar, like a bat. and your radar tells you there's a door on the back of this place. We're getting closer to the bats, you tell Gabe. Gabe puffs. You act like you want to party with those bats or something. Don't you want to be normal? Normal? What's normal? You start running faster. Turn to page 89. As you round the corner of the factory, you see a huge garage door. You both try to slide the door up, but it's locked. Forget it, Gabe orders. Let's use the front door, like regular human beings. You start to follow your friend, but all of a sudden you feel a new sensation. You're changing again, from deep inside. A moment later, you have the strongest urge to fold your arms across your chest, like a bat. Something tells you that if you do, you'll be able to fly. Use the front door, like human beings? You repeat Gabe's words? But what if I'm not human? Gabe grabs your arm. You're my best friend. I know you're human, he exists. Come on. If you go with Gabe, turn to page 12. If you try to become a bat, turn to page 129. Classic rule slip. Become a bat. Okay, we're going to try and be a bat. 129. No, you tell Gabe, pulling away. I'm going to follow the bats. You close your eyes and fold your arms across your chest. Gabe cries, what are you doing? You don't answer. You just concentrate hard on the bats and on the tingling inside of you. Suddenly, your whole body feels as if it's being crushed, crunched. The whole world goes dark. You open your eyes, but nothing changes. I can't see, you try to scream, but all that comes out is a high-pitched screeching sound. Then you open your wings and lift off the ground. You're flying. You soar up in a spiral. Up, up, up. Soar to page 134. As you circle around, high above Gabe's head, reality hits you. You turned yourself into a bat. I'm blind as a bat, too, you think as you soar towards the factory window. That's where the other bats went in. You can't see the window very well. You're not completely blind, but your eyesight is poor. Your radar, though, tells you where the opening is. Inside, you follow your sense of smell. It leads you to a room full of screeching bats. They all flap their wings and circle each other. Then one by one, they transform themselves into human form, into vampires. All except you. Cold fear seeps into your little bat body as you realize you don't know how to change back. Turn back to page 8. You want to change back into a kid, but you don't have a clue how. So you fly back out the window, searching for Gabe. Your radar spots him. You dart down and land gently on his shoulder. Gabe twists around and stares into your tiny bat face. Yuck, he says. You're ugly. Can't you change back? You just sit there, screeching. Finally, Gabe nods in understanding. I guess I'll have to take you home and keep you as a pet. Boy, my mom is gonna freak. Maybe I can figure out a cure someday. Unfortunately, Gabe never figures it out. He does, however, grow up to become a Major League Baseball player. As a private joke, he lets you live in the clubhouse as the unofficial Bat Boy. The end. Oh. So, that didn't go so well. But we can go back to we can go back to where we followed the bats or use the front door, or we can go back to where we try to become a bat or not. So, up to you guys which way, how far we want to go on this one. The Bat Boy was pretty cool. So we're either not becoming a bat or we're using the front door. Which way? Oh, Martha commented that a better address would have been 666. But I feel like they probably specifically chose 999 because this is a children's book designed for ages 7 to 10. And they figured doing like the real thing was maybe not okay. So they probably did 999 because of that. Okay, so favorite ending so far. Tally. I have not been keeping a tally of endings. I think this was 5? I don't know. Okay, so what do we got? So we got don't become a bat, use the front door. Not becoming bat, front door. Inverted. It's a tie, you guys. I don't know. Not becoming a bat, front door. Okay, I'm gonna go with not becoming a bat, and we'll finish out this like storyline because then we can go back further to the front door one and try that separately. Okay, so we want to follow the bats, but Gabe says no. So we're not gonna become a bat. We're gonna go with him. Walking to the front of the building, you complain. I'm dying of thirst. Quit talking about death, orders Gabe. There's a buzzer outside the office. Gabe pushes it. Instantly, the office door swings open. A light comes on inside. You peer in and see a small waiting room. At the back is another door. The sign on the second door says, "No admittance." But there's no one in the office. Who opened the door, you wonder? Gabe whispers. If this were a movie, I'd be screaming, "Don't go inside, dummy." You must be a dummy. You step inside. Looking at this now, I feel like both of these actually go back to the exact same spot. They do. So that was a hilarious turn of events because they both went here no matter what. Turn to page 24. Click, click, clack. What's that sound, you whisper? It's my knees knocking, Gabe explains. This place is terminally creepy. Let's just book home. Tell your parents the whole story and let them deal with it. No way, you declare. I'm staying till I get what I came for. As you bicker, the back door opens. A short, pudgy man walks into the office. Well, well, he says, giving you a fatherly smile. He doesn't look scary at all. You must be the one who called. About vampire in a can? You nod and start to answer, but he keeps talking. Fine. Glad you found us so easily. I'm Herman Carmine. Come with me, he says, jerking his head towards the no admittance door. We'll fix you up in no time. Gabe steps forward. Not you, the man says firmly to Gabe. You stay here. Don't go, Gabe whispers loudly. It's a trap. Carmine squints at you. Look, he snaps. You came here for help. Do you want it or not? Yeah, you say. But you whisper to Gabe, if I'm not back in 10 minutes, come looking for me. Are you nuts? Gabe whispers back. If you're not back in 5, I'm calling the police. You nod, then you follow Carmine through the no admittance door. It leads into a long, dark, twisting hallway. Where are we going, you ask anxiously. That's for me to know and you to find out, Carmine says with a cold laugh. Uh-oh. I don't like this, you think. Carmine opens the door leading into a cavernous space. The warehouse. The only light comes from some dim red bulbs. At the far end of the room, you see a row of coffins. In here, Carmine says, motioning for you to come in. How stupid do you think I look, you sputter. You turn and run, back through the twisting hallway, back to the office where you left Gabe. Except, there's no Gabe. Where is he? Did he get scared and leave? No, he'd never leave without you. He's a loyal friend. Usually. Did he come looking for you? But you weren't even gone 5 minutes. Without warning, the no admittance door slams behind you. Then you hear a scream. You'd know that scream anywhere. It's Gabe's. Oh no, Gabe didn't leave. He was kidnapped. Gabe was right. You walked into a trap. You brought these vampires some fresh blood. What do I do now? You moan silently. So we want to search the building for Gabe. Turn to page 104. If you go home to get help, turn to page 10. Run? Run doesn't answer that question for me, really. Run home for help? I got 1 run and 2 searches. Oh gosh, you guys. I know that we did search for him last time, but I feel like there's still options if we go that way and choose something different once we get in there. So let's go with that one first. We're going to search the building for Gabe. Turn to page 104. Ooh, sorry, it's uncomfortable sitting here forever. 104. In a panic, you pick up a chair. You hurl it through the window of the no admittance door. Then you reach through the broken glass and unlock the door from the other side. You've got to find Gabe, no matter how dangerous it is. You've got to find your friend, and fast. You hurry down the long, twisting hallway. Shattered glass crunches under your feet. In the dark, you sense the right direction, towards the door that Carmine opened, the one leading to the coffins. Vampires sleep in coffins, you think, as you near the door. You slowly turn the knob. Squeak! Uh-oh. Are the door's hinges rusty? No, it's only a mouse. The door opens noiselessly. You lift your foot and step across the threshold. But as you put your weight down, the wooden floor gives way, and you start to fall. Turn to page 117. A trap door! No, you scream. You're falling. You plummet through the musty-smelling air for a few seconds, then thud. You land on a soft pile of damp earth. It's pitch dark. You feel around. The room is small. Its walls seem to be made of rough stone. No windows. At last, your fingers find a wooden door. You try the knob. Yes, it turns. When the door opens, you hear voices, laughter. Your legs tremble with fear. You force yourself to move. You step through the door and gasp. Before you is an enormous hall filled with vampires. Turn to page 84. All the heads in the room turn towards you. Welcome, a woman calls out. She's wearing a long red velvet gown. We've been expecting you. Everyone smiles at you. Their fangs glisten. You can't speak, can't run, can't do anything except take the horrible scene. The room is stuffed with coffins, candelabras, and vampires. Some of them are lounging in their coffins, reading magazines and newspapers. A few hang upside down from the rafters like bats. How lovely of you to join us, the woman coos. I'm Countess Yvonne. Won't you come in and have something to drink? She sweeps her arm towards a huge stone table. On it are silver goblets filled with a red liquid. No thanks, you say. Where's Gabe? What have you done with him? We'll answer all your questions, Countess Yvonne replies, but first, have one drink. I'm going to double check here before we decide. Last time we did drink it, and I don't know if that was the very end or if there was another choice after drinking it. So, let me see. Okay, if we drink it, that's the end. So, if we drink the liquid, it puts us to sleep for 100 years, and we find out they killed our friend. So we're not going to drink it. We're going to refuse. We're going to turn to page 5. The red liquid gleams. A vampire places a plastic straw in one of the goblets and holds it towards you. Sip? You lick your dry lips. You die for a gulp. You swallow hard and shake your head. You can't let yourself drink it. If you do, and it's blood, and you know it's blood, you're pretty sure you'll be a vampire forever. And forever is a long time. No, you repeat. I'll pass on the blood. I'm sorry you feel that way, Countess Yvonne says. She gives one short nod to the others. They glide towards you, closing in on you. In desperation, you search for a weapon, but the only thing you see are the goblets of blood. Frantically, you dart to the table and lift a goblet. You toss the whole glassful of liquid into the Countess's face. You wretch! The Countess screams. What have you done? Her terror-filled voice stuns you. Blood splashes across her face and runs down her neck. It's just blood, you think. Isn't that what she drinks? But you quickly understand. The sight of blood has driven the other vampires into a frenzy. They rush over to her and attack. By licking her face, they slobber at her cheeks, her neck, her eyes, and nose. The Countess screams, sinking to the floor. Are they going to eat her? Your stomach turns, and you feel faint. And worst of all, you feel thirsty. Part of you wants to join them, to lick up the blood too. No, you tell yourself. Now's your chance to get away. If you want to escape from this place, turn to 78. If you want to lick up the blood, turn to page 110. escape and lick. I got one of each. One escape, one licking up the blood. I need some more opinions, guys. Escape. Okay, I'm going to bookmark this page too. I'm paying attention, but I like licking. Okay, technically I think we have more blood ones. Escape, blood, escape, blood, blood. Okay, we're going with the blood. Turn to page 110. You join the other vampires and lick the blood. Hope you enjoy the thrill, because you just failed the taste test. The right answer is lick blood off someone's face? Gross me out. Before your friends find out you picked this ending, close the book. That's right. Shut it now. And don't even think of opening it again until you've said, it is not normal to drink blood 5 times. But say it to yourself. Because if your friends hear you chanting, it is not normal to drink blood, they'll think you're pretty weird. And they might even begin to wonder if you're a vampire. Hey, on second thought, are you? Nah, no way, you couldn't be. Could you? The end. Apparently that wasn't the right choice, you guys. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna use this opportunity to escape from this place. Turn to page 79. While the vampires lick blood from Countess Yvonne, you dart away toward the back of the room. Then you spot something, a big wooden door locked with an ancient iron lock. An old key is in the door. It looks like a prison cell. You turn the key and open the door. Gabe is chained by his hands and feet to the back wall. Gabe, you cry softly. He stares at you coldly. Are you okay, you ask him? In answer, he shows you his neck. Oh no, you cry. They're freshly pierced in 2 little holes. 2 tiny marks that can mean only one thing. He's been bitten by a vampire. Turn to page 51. I told you it was a trap, Gabe complains. Now we're both vampires and we'll never change back. I don't believe it, you tell him. There must be some way to change back. There's gotta be. Gabe shakes his head. The vampire who bit me told me there wasn't. He says, but... He breaks off. But what, you urge? When he was taking me here, we passed by a sign on the wall that said, Midnight Shift, keep away, danger. Under the sign was a shelf full of plastic bottles. The labels on them said garlic spray. Garlic, you frown? In olden days, people wore garlic around their necks to keep vampires away. I know, look. Could you get me out of these things? Gabe asks. He nods at the cuffs on his hands and feet. You look around for a key, but you hear footsteps. You whirl around just as a frail, gray-haired old lady approaches the door. Aha, she croaks. So there you are. Turn to page 66. The old woman smiles at you. Fangs hang down over her wrinkled old lips. You're caught. Trapped in a cell, in a basement full of vampires, and a hideous female vampire is blocking the door. You hate having to do this to an old woman, but you drive your shoulder into her. She doesn't budge, not an inch. You bounce backwards. Wow, you exclaim. Do you ever think of playing for the Dallas Cowboys? Shh, she says urgently, putting a finger to her lips. They'll hear you. She glances over her shoulder to be sure no one's coming. Then she takes the black iron key from the door. She uses it to unlock Gabe's chains. If you want my help, come with me, she whispers. She hobbles to the door and motions for you to follow. You glance at Gabe. He shrugs. His expression is cool and distant, like he doesn't care what happens. You'll have to decide on your own. If you trust the old woman, turn to page 128. If you want to lock her in the cell, turn to page 11. I got one of each. Lita says old woman. Trust the old woman. Lock her in the cage. I get a couple more. What about Haley? Martha? Martha says lock her up. Haley, you're the tiebreaker here. Lock her up. Okay, page 11. You don't trust the old vampire woman. The minute you're free, you shove her into the cell and slam the door. Then turn the black iron key in the lock. Oh, what fools! What fools! The old woman cries. She's right, of course. You are fools. You're in a dungeon full of blood-sucking vampires. How do you ever hope to get out unless you trust someone? At least you could put your faith in a sweet little old lady. True, she's a sweet little old lady with fangs. But who else is going to help you? There's very little hope now. You shouldn't even bother to go on with this book. That is, unless you can pass a test to prove that you have good sense. Turn to page 132 to take the test. Oh. Test for good sense. There's 2 questions on this test. So, question 1. You've withdrawn $1,000 from the bank. You don't have any pockets, so you want someone to hold it for you. Whom should you trust? Pick one. A, your grandmother, B, a kangaroo, or C, a guy with a shaved head and a tattoo that reads, ex-cons are better. Letter R. So, A, B, or C. A, your grandmother, B, a kangaroo, or C, a guy with a shaved head and a tattoo that reads, ex-cons are better. Okay. I've got an A and a C, 2 C's. Okay, I've got 3 going with C. So we're going to pick C for the first question. Okay, question 2. You forget your lunch for school, and a bunch of people offer you food. Whom should you trust? Pick one. A, your best friend, who gives you half his sandwich. B, a kangaroo. C, a kid 2 years older than you who says, take my lemonade, then turns his back, makes a horrible hacking sound, and hands you a weird-looking drink with gunk floating in it. Okay, so best friend, A. Okay, everybody's choosing A. Okay. Okay, scoring for the test. If you picked A for one or both questions, you have more good sense than we thought. Give yourself 10 points for each A answer. But then ask yourself, if I'm so sensible, why am I taking this dumb test? Deduct 10 points unless you can answer that question in 25 words or less. If you picked B for one or both of the questions, you might not have much good sense, but you have a great sense of humor. Give yourself 30 points for each answer B. If you picked C for one or both questions, you have no common sense, but you have a great sense of adventure. Give yourself 50 points for each C answer. If you refuse to take the test, give yourself 100 points. Add up your score. If you scored at least 10 points, you passed the test and you may continue reading the book. If you didn't score at least 10 points, whoa, check yourself into the nearest hospital and have them test for a pulse, brainwave activity, and other signs of life. If you pass the test, turn to page 128 and follow the old woman, and trust her this time. You did not take the test. Okay, so we can skip that because we trusted the old woman. Okay, you whisper to the old woman, let's go. The old vampire hobbles out of the cell and turns right. She leads you to a different part of the basement. In here, she orders, pointing to another small, dark cell. Chained to a table is an ancient book. It speaks of a cure for vampirism. My great-great-grandfather always swore it was foolproof. Why haven't you used it? Gabe asked suspiciously. The old woman smiles patiently. Because then I would be human, she replies. I would no longer have eternal life. I am old, so I would die. Suddenly you hear laughter and footsteps. Hurry, the old woman pleads. I have left one match on the table for you. Light it and read quickly. I marked the page with a ribbon. Good luck. Then she closes the door behind her, leaving you in the dark. Turn to page 32. Right now, your future looks dark, like this cell. But don't panic. Just find the book and the match. Where's the table? Whispers Gabe. You feel a sharp pain. Yow! I just bumped into it. Good work, Gabe laughs. You feel for the match on the tabletop. A splinter pierces your finger. Gabe smells the blood seeping from your wound. He grabs your hand and licks it. You pull your hand away. Typo positive, my favorite flavor, Gabe murmurs, smacking his lips. Quit it, you order. Let's get busy. At last, you find the match and the ancient leather-bound book. You open it to the page marked with the ribbon. You strike the match. In its flare, you read old-fashioned lettering. It says, to reverse vampirism, but the rest of the page is torn out. Turn to page 81. It's missing, you cry in horror. Yeah, but look, Gabe whispers. There's a loose, torn page tucked into the back of the book. The match you're holding is burning your fingers. Gabe yanks out the missing page. It's the one you need. You read, for 4 hours in a day, drink garlic and water, no more, and eat nothing. Then the match goes out. So this says not to drink garlic and water, Gabe remarks. No, you argue. It says drink garlic and water, no more. That means drink nothing but garlic and water. That's nuts, Gabe retorts. But it won't matter unless we can get out of here. The cell door swings open and your heart sinks. Turn to page 4. Standing in the doorway are the vampires. All of them. Countess Yvonne stalks towards you. Right behind her are at least 20 others, hungry for blood. Don't be afraid, Countess Yvonne says. We only want to drain the rest of your fresh human blood. Then you'll be truly one of us. Don't worry, it won't hurt. The last person who told you that was your dentist. Run, you shout at Gabe. But you can't run. The vampires are pushing into the small room filling the doorway. You feel like you're losing your mind. You cry. I'm going batty. The Countess stops in her tracks and starts laughing. Batty? What a hoot! The other vampires begin laughing uncontrollably. The corny pun has put them into hysterics. The bloodsuckers are distracted. Here's your chance. You drop to your hands and knees and start crawling. Gabe follows you. You scramble like mad between the legs of the guffawing vampires. Quick, make a decision. Which way now? If you run back the way you came, turn to page 18. If you try to find the garlic spray, turn to page 56. Garcook spray? Garcook? That sounds great. Garlic 56. Okay, everybody wants the garlic spray. We gotta try and turn back normal, right? Okay, 56. Where was that garlic spray? You shout at Gabe. Without answering, he sprints down the hallway. At the end, you spot a staircase that leads up to the warehouse. The two of you clamber up the stairs. The vampires are in hot pursuit. The warehouse is jammed with all kinds of vampire costumes and products, but finally you find a sign on the wall, the one Gabe told you about. Midnight shift. Keep away. Danger. Beneath it are the plastic bottles of garlic spray. Desperately, you grab one of the bottles and flick off the cap. You whirl around, just as a balding vampire lunges at you. As he draws near, you realize, you know this vampire. Turn to page 35 to see who it is. Do you guys know who it is? I feel like I know who it is. Mr. Ruderly, you cry. You always kind of liked Mr. Ruderly, even though he's the eyeball man. For a moment, you hesitate, but when you see his fangs, you know what you must do. You aim the plastic bottle of garlic spray at his face and start pumping the spray button. Take that, sucker, you yell. The smell of garlic makes you want to puke. A fine spray of liquid hits Rudderly in his eyes. Ow, he screams, doubling over in pain. The other vampires don't want any part of your garlic gun. You hear them moan and gag from the garlic as they scurry down the stairs. You and Gabe high-five each other. Then you each grab 2 bottles of garlic spray and dash towards the exit. You don't stop running till you get home. Gabe collapses on the floor of your room. Phew, he pants. Close one. Yeah, you agree. But it's not over yet. We're still vampires. Turn to page 115. You and Gabe argue about the cure. Garlic and water, and no more, you insist. And we can't eat anything either, for 4 hours in a day. Gabe is convinced that drinking the garlic spray will kill you. After all, we're vampires. What if you're wrong? What if Gabe's right and the garlic spray kills you? You've got to decide. If you drink the garlic spray, turn to page 28. If not, turn to page 120. Don't drink it. I mean, the book said it was the cure, but don't drink it. Drink toast. Fucking stay alive no matter what. Yeah, that's probably for the best. But we don't know if we'll stay alive. I mean, are we technically alive because we're vampires right now? So Binks, what do you think? Is it a cure? Supposedly, it's a cure. It says if that's all we do, it'll cure us. Stay dead. So we're not gonna drink it. A cure to death. Okay. I guess we're not gonna drink the garlic spray. We're gonna turn to 120. Fine. We'll do it your way, you snarl at Gabe. We don't drink the garlic and water. We eat nothing for 4 hours in a day. Good, Gabe replies. But I'm hungry already, you whine. For the next few hours, you and Gabe just sit in your room, waiting, hoping that you're doing the right thing, and getting hungrier. Your stomach starts to rumble. Your mouth is dry. Your throat is begging for liquid. I can't stand it anymore, you announce suddenly. I need something to drink. You jump up and lunge for the door, but Gabe is faster. He leaps to his feet and blocks your way. No, you don't, he warns. We made a deal. No deal, you shout. Get out of my way. You shove him. He starts grappling with you. Before you know what you're doing, you bare your fangs and bite Gabe on the neck. Turn to page 33. First, you sink your teeth into Gabe's throat. Then he bites you back. Uh-oh, you think. This wasn't part of the plan. Within seconds, both of you feel a strange change. Your fangs grow longer. Your skin turns pale. You're both full-fledged vampires. There's no changing back. The transformation is complete. Whoops, Gabe says sheepishly. I guess that wasn't the right cure. Nope. But now that you're a vampire, you might as well make the best of it. I know what to do, you announce, with the toothy grin. Let's go to the local blood bank and make a big withdrawal. The end. Okay, so we're going to go back to the garlic spray, and we're going to try drinking the garlic spray. See what happens, you guys. Going to page 28. I'm drinking the garlic spray, you tell Gabe. I really think you should too. Okay, but you go first, Gabe says slyly. Each of you pours 1 bottle of garlic spray into a glass. You chug-a-lug yours. P.U., Gabe complains. Your breath is killing me. It probably will, you retort. Unless you drink yours too, now. I'm sorry, you guys, but like Binks is right here in my lap staring up at me, and she's just so cute. Gabe gulps his down. Pretty soon, the whole room stinks of garlic. It smells so bad. Your mom comes barging in to see what's wrong. What's going on in here, she asks, holding her nose. You smell like that creepy man who owns scary stuff. What's his name, Mr. Rudderly? How can that be, you wonder? Mr. Ruderly wouldn't use garlic. He's a vampire. Yes, your mom goes on. He used to eat garlic all the time. He told me it was to ward off vampires. Can you imagine? Then a few months ago, he suddenly stopped. Turn to page 133. Wow, that's probably when Ruderly became a vampire himself, Gabe declares. You decide to tell your mom the truth about the vampire in a can, and Mr. Ruderly, and the warehouse full of vampires, and everything. Yeah, and I'm the Easter Bunny, your mom says when you finish. She rolls her eyes. Halloween is coming up, not April Fool's Day. You plead with her. You've got to believe me, Mom. Really, check out my fangs. You open your mouth wide. Your mom peers in. She gasps. Turn to page 64. See, I told you. I have fangs, you exclaim to your mom. Sorry, she says, laughing. I don't see any fangs, but you clearly need to brush those teeth. No fangs? Brush your teeth? You rush to the mirror and see yourself. Your reflection is back, and the fangs are gone. Yes, you cry, pumping your fists in the air. The garlic worked. I'm normal again. Gabe races to the mirror and checks out his own reflection. Yeah, he cheers. We're normal. We're normal. Thank goodness, you rejoice, because being a vampire is a real pain in the neck. The end. Okay, so that was like maybe even a better ending than that first one. I don't remember what the first one was that was good, but that was a good one. Garlic worked. Okay, so our options here. Incredible news. The best ending. It totally is. It was sappy happy. Okay, so we should stay in this storyline for now. And so we can go back. This one, there are a lot of happy endings. In the other one we read last week, I'm pretty sure that there was I only remember one, like, happy ending in that one. Okay, so we're going to go back to after we crawl out from underneath all of the vampires. We had the choice to run back the way we came, or we had the chance to find the garlic spray, and we chose the garlic spray. So we're going to go back and we're just going to run for it the way we came and see what happens. Run, you think, and don't look back. You retrace your steps, past the coffins, past the table of blood-filled goblets. You finally reach the room where you fell into from the trap door. You dash in and slam the door. The darkness is total. Click. You hear Gabe slide the bolt shut. Shuffle, shuffle. What's that noise, you whisper? A weird, quavery voice speaks out of the dark. It is I, Count von Smelling, the greatest vampire of them all. Oh, great. You've escaped from the other vampires. Now you're locked in the room with the big cheese. You can't see him, but you can imagine how Count von Smelling must look. 10 feet tall, burning red eyes, 6-inch fangs. You're finished. Or are you? Turn to page 38. Count von Smelling. Yep. We've had it, you think. Count von Smelling is going to drain all our blood. Then Gabe speaks up. Excuse me, he says. But exactly what makes you the greatest vampire of all time? I'm the oldest, Count von Smelling answers proudly. I am in the Guinness Book of World Records. That's what makes him the greatest? Congratulations, you say politely. Wow, you must have seen it all, Gabe adds. Oh, I have, Count von Smelling agrees eagerly. It all started back in the year 1327. That's BC, of course. The Count starts to tell you his life story, and it's some long story. You quickly realize why the other vampires keep him in here. His quavery voice drones on, hour after hour, day after day, year after year. You've heard the expression, bored to death? Unfortunately, you and Gabe are now among the undead, but during the eternity you spend with Count von Smelling, you never stop hoping. The end. Okay. Okay, so I've got 3 pages bookmarked in here, you guys. I've got the spot where... Let's see. Best ending yet? What? Okay, so I've got the part where we can decide to bite Gabe or not right after we become a vampire. I've got the spot where you go to the office and that Herman Carmine is taking you back and the door slams and you hear Gabe screams and you can decide to search the building for Gabe or to go home and get help. I don't think we went home to get help at all yet. And then I've got the page where we the hideout room. No, I think we did all those ones. So yeah, so those are our two office. None of them are in an office. So the going home to get help for Gabe, that's what I'm doing. He did not seem nearly as amused as he should have been. He doesn't understand the awesomeness of these books. I feel like Ryan's probably just like a little bit too old. So he probably like didn't read these when he was younger like we did. Okay, so I don't know if we bite him. We might just end up repeating that because I can't remember. This is the part where we get so far into this book that we're like, what did we read and what did we not read? Because we've probably only read half of this book already. Yeah, you've probably never read these, but I'm 32 and these were like the coolest thing when I was in 5th grade, and I read the crap out of them. I only have a couple left. I think I had 3 in my collection. And now I have more because I keep buying them so we can keep doing this. We did try and bite him before, but there might be other options after we bite him, and I just don't remember. The one that was glittery on the cover. Yeah, all of the special ones tend to be glittery on the cover, so it could be any of them. You weren't allowed to read these books. I'm so sorry. Because these are like the best. Stop! We're destroying things. Oh, cats. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's go with the biting him again and see what we can come up with and see if there's another option. So you just turned into a vampire, you notice that you don't have a reflection in the mirror, you want to bite your best friend, and then you bite him or you don't bite him. 87. Let's see what we got. See, this is where I feel like it would be better to have like a Discord where we could all be like chatting, and then you guys could like provide entertainment while I'm flipping through the books instead of just me doing it. Okay, so if we bite him, okay, if we bite him, it ends up just going back to we have the 4 choices of going to the eyeball man, doing the research about vampires, hiding in our room and liking being a vampire. And I feel like we did all of those, so choosing not to bite him is... I'm just trying to find a point where we can go back, and I don't know where it is, so... Okay, we have not gone this way yet. So if we decide not to bite Gabe, you don't want to leave unsightly fang marks on your best friend's neck, do you? On the other hand, what's the point of being one of the undead if you can't drink the blood of a human now and then? And Gabe has plenty of blood to spare. Go on, take a little bite. Just a nibble. So, I guess that just takes us back to where we do bite him. So, that's the same way. So never mind. We're going to go back to where Gabe got kidnapped in the building, and we decided to search the building for him. Instead, we're going to go home to get help. We're going to go to page 10. This has gone too far, you decide. You've got to get some help from some adults, and fast, before the vampires bite Gabe. You race out of the office and run all the way home. But when you reach your house, you get a sinking feeling. There are no lights on inside the house, no cars in the driveway. Your parents aren't home. Weird, you think. They didn't have any plans to go out. You feel a sudden chill up your spine. Slowly, you walk up your front steps and open the door. Turn to page 131. Surprise! A bunch of voices all say at once. The living room is filled with your friends, and Gabe is standing right in the middle. Happy birthday, everyone shouts. But it's not my birthday until next week, you sputter, feeling totally confused. I know, your mom says, appearing in the kitchen doorway. But Dad and I thought it would be more fun to give you a surprise party before Halloween. But what about the vampires, you whisper to Gabe. What about my fangs and the warehouse and everything? Gabe laughs. That stuff you drank from the packet, he said? That was Mr. Ritterly's idea. It's just sugar syrup, cherry juice, and a lot of salt. He said it would make you thirsty, and then the sugar syrup coats your teeth and makes them look longer. But the rest, that was all in your head. You just imagined that you wanted to drink blood. But what about the mirror, you cry. You race to the hall mirror and look in it. Your reflection is still missing. Turn to page 113. Your dad follows you. There's a special plastic film on the mirror, he explains. It's something your Uncle Todd invented, for use for special effects in movies. Your dad reaches up and peels off the plastic layer. Now you can see a reflection. So it was all fake, you ask? We know how much you love vampires, your mom replies. We wanted to make your birthday really special. Now everyone to the dining room for cake. What a night. This has been the most amazing surprise birthday party ever. You sit down at the table, starved and thirsty, but when your mom pours you a glass of cherry punch, it looks exactly like blood. Thanks, Mom, you say, but I'm not thirsty. Oh, but I insist, your mom says. Her eyes glitter red. She's a vampire. Terrified, you turn to Gabe and your father. They hiss and bare their fangs at you. Oh no, they're vampires too. Well, this'll be one birthday you'll never forget. The end. Oh, man. This might actually be the end, you guys, because I don't know if any of you can think of like a part that we missed. There's definitely some stuff in this book we haven't hit, but I don't know. I guess if we go back to the dog, maybe we can make some different choices. Yeah, we've got all of the dog storylines. We only did one of that. So that would be this specific book. This is number 15, called Please Don't Feed the Vampire, of the Arlstein Give Yourself Goosebumps series. There's a cat underneath me clawing at the bed. Okay, so we're going to go back to we're following the dog story. Okay, so it's just going to take me a second to find it, so I'm just going to keep playing this song forever. This is appropriate choice. This is a good time for a bathroom break for anybody that needs it while I dig through the book. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes, and I will take a bathroom break too, and then we will resume. No, we're not, because I left the book in the bathroom. BRB. Okay. Now that I have the book again. Hooray, you guys. Okay, perfect time to tune in as we start over. So back to the very first page where we got the kit and we decided not to open the packet of whatever that was in the bottom. So, open the packet, you wonder? No, I'll pass, you decide, shaking your head. I mean, seriously, it might be poison or something. Gabe tosses you the packet nervously. This gives me the creeps, he says. I don't even want to hold it. Don't give it to me, you object, throwing it back at him. Gabe lets it fall to the floor. I don't want it. Just then, your dog comes trotting into the room. She snatches up the packet in her teeth. Hey, no, Fifi, you scold your dog, a big black poodle. Put that down. No. But you're too late. Fifi tears into the packet. Something red drips from her mouth. Yuck, Gabe says. She's eating it, and it looks like blood. Page 83. Fifi slurps up the red liquid in the packet. No, Fifi, you scold, trying to take it away. Grrr, she growls at you angrily, her eyes gleaming. Uh-oh, Gabe says. What's she doing that for? I don't know, you answer, worried. Fifi has never growled at you in her life. Grrr. When the packet is empty, Fifi drops it to the floor. Then she barks and runs to the kitchen door. She jumps against the door with her front paws clawing and digging. I think she wants out, Gabe whispers. Too bad, you say. She can't go out if she's going to act like this. Grrr, rough, rough. Fifi snarls and barks at you, baring her teeth. Oh no, you cry. She can't believe what you're seeing. She's growing fangs. Try to control your dog on page 95. Fifi snarls at you viciously. Her lips curl back, exposing new, curved fangs. They're at least twice as long as they used to be, and razor sharp, like a vampire's. Fifi lunges at you. You back up, shocked. Your own dog is attacking you. With her weight, Fifi easily knocks you down. For an instant, you're sure she's going to bite your neck. You roll away from her, cowering. Howl! Her howling moan sounds crazy. She leaps at the kitchen door one more time. This time she breaks it down. Stop her, Gabe stutters. You're so shaken, you stand there for a second. When you grab Fifi's leash, come on, you shout, snapping out of it. We've got to get her back. Just as you start to leave, the phone rings. We can answer the phone, or we can let it ring and run after Fifi. Last time we ran after Fifi, but there are more choices down that way as well. So we'll want to go both ways at some point. Which way do we want to start with? How to control your dog. Answer the phone. Okay, answer the phone is page 15. We're on page 95 currently. So, okay, we're going to try answering the phone this time. You answer the phone. Hello? It's your mom. Hi, sweetie, she says casually. Listen, I need you to do something for me. Hi, Mom, you say. Listen, I can't right now. I've got to run after Fifi. She just got loose. That's okay, your mom answers. She'll come back. Now here's what I want you to buy at the store. By the time you're done listening to her, 10 minutes have passed. You and Gabe run out into the street. Fifi is gone. Turn to page 75. Fifi, you cry. Here, girl. But she doesn't appear. She's long gone. There's no point searching for Fifi. She could be anywhere. You slink back into the house and collapse on the living room sofa. When you see her water bowl, you feel a pang in your heart. You also feel a pang in your head from where Fifi slammed you into the door. Every once in a while, you check your front yard to see if your dog has come home. She hasn't. You and Gabe spend the afternoon watching reruns of Lassie on TV. Just after sunset, the phone rings. A cranky-sounding caller grumbles. Your dog is out in my front yard howling. Come and get her quick before I lose my temper and call the police. Hurry to page 27. Okay, you agree. Who are you? Where do you live? This is Jeremy Winger, he snarls. I'm over on Mulberry Street. Jeremy Winger? The weirdo? The guy who keeps caged cockroaches as pets? Hurry up, he continues, or I might do something you'll regret. He chuckles softly to himself, then hangs up. Oh, brother, you moan. Fifi is over at Mr. Winger's house. Yikes, Gabe replies. The guy who never mows his lawn? The one with weird gargoyle on his mailbox? The one who stays up all night and never goes out? Yeah, you nod. We better get over there before Fifi bites him. Or before Winger bites Fifi, Gabe adds, heading for the door. As the moon rises, you and Gabe approach Winger's house. In the distance, you hear Fifi howling, until you step up to the front door. Then the howling stops. There are no lights on inside, and Fifi's nowhere in sight. Ring the bell, Gabe orders, pointing. You ring it 3 times before Winger finally answers. Yeah? What is it? He asks gruffly. Uh-oh. He has 2 small marks on the side of his neck. Mr. Winger? You stammer. You called me about my dog, remember? The big black poodle? Where is she? I didn't call you, Winger snaps. I don't know what you're talking about. And then he slams the door in your face. Whoa, Gabe mutters. I don't believe that guy. Ring the bell again. You ring it, you say fearfully. If you want Gabe to ring the bell, turn to page 107. If you want to ring it yourself, turn to page 53. Are we going to ring the bell, or are we going to make him ring the bell? $53. We're going to go ahead and ring the bell ourselves for a second time. 53. You reach out and ring the doorbell. Push it again, orders Gabe. Keep ringing until Winger comes back. You push the doorbell again. Ding dong. You hear a door slam. An outside door. Then footsteps. Hey, you whisper to Gabe. I think he's sneaking out the back. Gabe leaps off the porch and you follow him. At the back of the house, you peek into the garage. Mr. Winger is loading a dog crate into the trunk of an old station wagon. Is Fifi inside? Wait, you call out, running up to the car. Mr. Winger, my dog! Winger ignores you. He jumps back behind the wheel and starts the engine and backs out really fast. The car zooms right at you. You jump into some prickly bushes to avoid being hit by Winger's car. Meanwhile, he roars off. Come on, you yell. Let's follow that lunatic. You and Gabe run after the car as fast as you can. Luckily, Winger hits a red light, so you catch up. Then he loses you again. He turns the corner and zooms down the road to a small shopping center. There are 6 stores on one end, a movie theater in the middle, and some offices on the other end. You spot Winger's car in the parking lot, but he and the dog crate are gone. You scan the stores, trying to guess where he went. He could be anywhere, Gabe moans. You point. Look, there's a pet store on the end. I bet he went in there. Maybe, Gabe says. But what about the movies? They're showing Dracula's bloodiest revenge. If you think he went to the pet store, turn to page 109. If you think he went to the movie, turn to page 59. Where are we at, friends? 59. It's going to the movie. Okay, we're going to go to Dracula's bloodiest revenge, you guys. Why would Winger take your dog into the movies? The answer is easy. Winger is nuts. Maybe you're right, you agree. Maybe he went into the movies. Yeah, Gabe says with a sigh. Too bad we can't follow him. I don't have any money. Neither do you. But you know another way in. You lead Gabe around the back of the shopping center to the emergency exit door. They always keep it unlocked in case of fire, you explain. You pull open the door, and the two of you slip into the darkened theater. As you scan the seats, you feel two large, heavy hands on your neck. You're jerked backwards. Someone's grabbing you from behind. Caught you, a voice exclaimed. You try to pull away, but he's holding you too tightly. Winger's gonna murder me, you think. Finally, the man spins you around. Uh-oh, it's not Mr. Winger. It's a movie theater manager. I saw you sneaking in the exit, he whispers angrily. Now I'm gonna call your parents. No, please, you plead. We were just... Gabe interrupts. Look, there he is. Gabe is pointing to a man in the middle of the theater row. In the dark, you can't tell if it's Winger. But you can see it's the four-legged customer beside him. It's Fifi, your dog. Turn to page 25. Fifi is sitting up in the seat, watching Dracula on the big screen. You twist out of the manager's grip and run up the aisle, stopping at your pooch's row. Fifi, you call softly. Come here, girl. Shh. Everyone in the row turns to shush you. That is everyone but Fifi. She's staring, transfixed at the movie screen. Fifi, you cry, grabbing her collar. Your dog looks you in the eye, coldly, as if you're a stranger, and then she bares her teeth and leaps at you. You scream. Quit screaming, yells an angry moviegoer. As Fifi bites you in your throat, you think, where's the manager now, when you really need him? Quiet, stop screaming, and turn to page 105. The next few moments are a blur. You struggle to push your huge dog away. Suddenly someone pulls the dog off you. It's Winger. Winger is saving your life? Fifi runs howling out of the movie theater. Your neck is throbbing, and your vampire dog, is gone. You run down the aisle, dribbling blood. You've got to catch her. Wait, Mr. Winger calls. He and Gabe catch you on the outside of the theater. I'm sorry, Winger tells you. I thought I could help. You see, I'm a dog psychologist. Huh? Gabe says, laughing. A doggy shriek? Yes, Winger goes on. I noticed that your dog thinks she's a vampire, so I brought her to this movie to show what a horrible life she was choosing for herself. Unfortunately, she enjoyed the film, and I'm afraid my plan backfired. Turn to page 47. Dog therapy? What a dumb idea, Gabe mutters. What about those red puncture marks on your neck? You ask Winger. Oh, this? I, accidentally stabbed myself with my fork while eating spaghetti, she explains. Smooth move, Gabe scoffs. Yes, well, I've got to be going. Hope you catch up with your dog, Winger mumbles. Then he hurries away across the parking lot. You aren't paying attention. A strange feeling is coming over you. Transformation. It's as if Fifi's bite turned you into something unhuman. You look really pale, Gabe says, sounding worried. Yeah, you think. I need to put a little color in my cheeks. Color red. You feel the strongest urge to bite someone. Don't bite anyone till you turn to page 86. You touch the bite marks on your neck. Does that hurt? Gabe asks. You shrug. Not much. I wonder where Fifi went. Oh well, she'll probably come home later tonight, before sunrise. Gabe gives you a strange look. I'm going back to my house now, he says nervously. If you didn't know better, you'd swear Gabe was afraid of you. So I'll see you on Saturday night? For Halloween, he asks. You grin, letting your fangs show. Then you reach for Gabe. Nope, you say. For you, Halloween is starting right now. The end. Okay, so we're going to probably go to the pet store. Yeah, we're going to go back to the pet store. The biscuits. Oh, that's a good call. I bet the biscuits are in here somewhere. Okay. If you think he went to the pet store, turn to page 109. Let's check out the pet store, you tell Gabe. You take off in that direction. But when you reach the door, the pet store owner is locking up. Hey, you call, knocking on the glass. It says on your door you're open until 9 o'clock p.m. Not tonight, the owner mouths, waving you away. Inside, you can hear parrots screeching wildly, dogs yipping, cats screaming. All the animals are going bonkers. The owner waves you away again. She's a strange-looking elderly woman with green eye glasses and messy bleached hair. Doesn't she look like Winger? You ask. Gabe peers at the woman, he gasps. Yeah, he agrees. You're right. She looks just like Winger, in a wig and a dress. Turn to page 55. Don't be stupid, you tell Gabe. It's not Winger in a dress. I meant that it must be his mother, Mrs. Winger. You don't know why they took Fifi, but the Wingers won't get away with stealing your dog. The next day, you and Gabe bike over to the pet store bright and early. The old woman is just opening up. You lock your bikes up and hurry through the front door. What the? Gabe's mouth drops open. Every single animal is gone. Every cage empty. The entire pet store is completely cleaned out. What's going on, you ask Mrs. Winger. Where are all the pets? We had a small accident, she answers. I'll be getting some new animals by the end of the week. Even the fish are gone, you exclaim. I know, Mrs. Winger nods. And they're cold-blooded. I didn't think... She stops herself. Sorry, she says. Come back next week. She pushes you out the door. What did she mean about the goldfish being cold-blooded? Gabe asks when you're outside. You shudder. I think Fifi must have bitten all her animals. The fish, too. Even though their blood is cold, usually vampires prefer a warm meal. The answer sounds pretty fishy, Gabe says. Hey, where are you going? To Winger's house, you answer as you hop on your bike. How come, Gabe asks. Because he had Fifi yesterday, you call, riding away, and I'll bet he still has her. Turn to page 123. When you get to Winger's, all the shutters are closed up tight. Dead leaves lie in drifts around the lawn. The place looks spooky, like a vampire's fortress. You go up to the front door and ring the bell. No one answers. But the door isn't locked. It swings open when you touch it. Nervously, you step inside. Hello? You call into the dark living room. The only answer is the screech of a parrot. The bird swoops down from a tall bookshelf, dive bombs you, heading straight for your face. When you open its beak, you see fangs inside. Oh no! It's a vampire parrot! You crouch down to protect yourself. At the same time, you wonder, can this vampire parrot talk? If you fight off the bird, turn to page 37. If you try to talk to it, turn to page 96. Talk to the bird. Okay, we're talking to it. Page 96. Hey, parrot, you shout. Polly want a cracker? Cracker? The parrot squawks. I want your blood. Hold on, you cry. How'd you get to be a vampire? Oh, the parrot lands on the back of the chair. That's a long story, it says. Give me the short version, you answer. I don't have all day. You've got a lot less time than you think, the parrot snaps. Anyway, it was like this. Mrs. Winger's son, Jeremy, came into the store last night with this dog, with fangs. The next thing you know, the dog was running around, biting all of us. Every single animal in the shop. Can you believe it? Yes, you say impatiently. Go on. You wish you hadn't asked, because the story gets worse. Much worse. Turn to page 125. Pretty soon, the chatty parrot continues, we all felt ourselves changing, growing fangs, getting thirsty for blood. You know, the whole 9 yards. Then what, you ask impatiently. Then Jeremy Winger brought us all here, the parrot adds. He said this would be a safe place for us until he could figure out a better strategy. You have a big vocabulary, you comment. Thanks, the bird says modestly. So where's my dog now, you ask. Your dog, the parrot screeches. That was your dog who bit me? Well, you stammer. But it's too late to make up a fib. The parrot has already begun with his attack. With one powerful swoop, he dives at your neck. Turn to page 13. Before the parrot reaches you, a net scoops him up. The net is attached to a pole held by Mr. Winger. Got him, Winger declares triumphantly. He pops a squawking bird into a cage. What's going on, you demand? I'll show you, he offers. Come with me. You follow Winger outside. In his driveway is a large van. Inside is a menagerie of vampire pets. I've rounded up all the little vampire animals, he announces proudly. Letting Fifi become a vampire was almost a disaster. She could have started an epidemic. Vampirism could have spread across the entire world. That would be bad. But you got them all, you ask? Every last one, Winger replies confidently. What are you going to do with the animals, you ask? Sell them to the circus, he explained. I'm going to make my fortune. So this is a happy ending, you say? You slap at a pesky mosquito that just bit your neck. A pesky vampire mosquito. The end. Why? Oh, man. Cool. Okay. Maybe we should fight the parrot instead. Let's see what happens. Okay, to fight the bird, we go to 37. As it swoops toward your face, you bat the screeching bird to the ground. At once it flies up again. It darts at your neck. Help, you shriek. A door opens near the back of the house. Then you hear the clicking sound of claws on wood. Batting the parrot away, you glance towards the hallway. Good grief! A dozen vampire pets are racing towards you. Cats with fangs, puppies with fangs, mice, snakes, rabbits, tarantulas, hamsters with fangs. You try to run out of the house, but you trip over the doormat. Wham! You hit the ground hard. Instantly, the vampire pets are on you, biting you, draining your blood. Help! You cry, flailing at them. Another door opens. More claws on wood. Your heart sinks when you realize another dog is coming, and this one sounds huge. 135. Woof! It's a familiar bark of your beloved poodle, Fifi. Fifi, you call. Woof! Fifi races down the hall and starts licking your face. Help me, Fifi, you cry. As if she understands, Fifi starts barking at all the vampire pets. She snarls at them, growls and snaps, and even though she's a vampire, she's protecting you. Good dog, you coo. But it's no use. The other animals aren't afraid of her any longer, not since they became vampires. In the next few moments, the bloodthirsty animals drain every drop of blood from your body. Oh, Fifi, you moan. How did this happen? What went wrong? Don't ask her, the parrot screeches at you. Ask me. I'm the one who can talk. You stare at the parrot, too surprised to speak. You're also too lifeless to listen, which is why you'll never find out the whole story in the end. Sean, you just got back? You missed so much. Okay. Let's see. Well, we're in the dog adventure now. We had a couple endings. It's still the same book, yes, but we're just in like the dog storylines. So we still have at least a couple more options. So okay, so we're gonna go back to when we're ringing the doorbell. So our dog turned to a vampire. The dog escaped. The phone rings, and it's our mom. Somewhere, I don't know. Somehow, the dog ended up at this strange guy's house, and he told you to come get it. So then when we rang the doorbell, he was like, I don't have your dog, and then slammed the door. So now we're ringing the doorbell again. So we rang it the last time, but we're going to make our friend ring it this time on 107. Well, you decide you want Gabe to ring the bell. Hold on. What kind of wimp out is that? And what are you afraid of anyway? The doorbell might just jump out and bite you. Face it, you're never going to have an exciting adventure if you keep letting your best friend do everything. You'll just go on making more wimpy decisions, and that will eventually lead you to another page like this one. A page where you're stuck facing the two worst words in the world. The end. So that one was apparently nothing. So, okay, so the other option that I know we can go back to is when the dog first gets out, you're about to run after her and the phone rings. And the very first time we did it, we didn't answer the phone and we ran after Fifi. This time we did answer the phone, and I feel like we have exhausted all of the options from the answering the phone side. So we're going to go back to letting the phone ring and running after the dog and see what other options we have in there. 241. Forget the phone, you shout. We've got to catch Fifi. Come on. You dash out the kitchen door and down the steps, chasing your crazy dog. Okay, I'm backing up. Okay, we got confused about the ending. I'm also confused about the ending. I'm sorry, I lost the page and I cannot explain. Oh, the ending that just ended for no reason was if you wimped out and made your friend ring the doorbell at the guy's house when you first went to go pick up your dog from him after he told you he didn't have her. Okay, so now, forget the phone, you shout. We've got to catch Fifi. Come on. You dash out the kitchen door and down the steps, chasing your crazy dog, but Gabe doesn't follow. I've got to answer the phone, Gabe calls after you. It might be my mom. She said she'd call. Okay, you shout. I'll be back as soon as I can. Fifi's already way ahead of you. You see her about 5 houses away, darting into a neighbor's yard. When you get to the yard, you stop and stare, amazed at what's lying in the grass. Buttermilk? You call softly. It's the big golden retriever that belongs to the Berklings. The fuzzy yellow dog is on its side, motionless. But that's not what scares you. What scares you are the 2 little bite marks on his neck, streaked with blood. Turn to page 102. Hang on. Oh no, you think. No. For an instant you close your eyes. You don't want to look. But even with your eyes closed, you can imagine what happened. Fifi bit the Berkling's dog. No, it's worse than that. You have to admit. Much worse. Fifi bit Buttermilk and drank his blood. Buttermilk, poor boy, you say, petting him. Is he dead, you wonder? You place your ear close to his chest and listen. All at once, the golden retriever turns his head, opens his mouth, and snaps in your face. Buttermilk is fat. Turn to page 3. Yow, you cry, jerking away from the vicious dog. But Buttermilk is fast. He lunges at you, bearing long, sharp fangs. His hot breath stinks. Oh no, he's a vampire dog too. Get off, Buttermilk, you command. You push him away and scramble to your feet. Buttermilk lunges at you. Yikes, you shout. You dash across the Berkley's yard and jump the fence. You run around to the back. There on the patio are 3 more dogs, all bitten on the neck, all changing into vampire dogs. 2 of them are dachshunds. The 3rd is a big mutt. They lift their heads and sniff the air. They all howl and leap at you. You race to the gate, but then skid to a stop. Buttermilk is waiting just outside the fence. Turn to page 20. The vampire dogs close in on you. A small set of teeth clamp down on your legs. Hey, get off me, you yell. You jerk your leg so hard the dachshund goes flying. He lands with a splash in a kitty wading pool. For an instant, the other 2 dogs look away, surprised. It gives you time to glance around quickly, looking for escape routes. There's a door leading from the patio into the garage. If you hurry, you might be able to hide in the garage before the dogs get you. But you might be trapped in here. Or if you make a dash for the house, what if the sliding glass doors are locked? We'll do something, fast. This is where last time we decided to run to the garage. I don't know if there's further options past that or not, so we're going to go with the house this time, and then we'll see if that ends. We can go back and check for more in the garage if we need to. Okay, so we run to the house, page 93. In a panic, you decide to try for the house. Yip, bark, woof. The dogs are at your heels as you race toward the sliding glass door. Uh-oh, locked. Well, it looks like this was the wrong choice. But if you hurry, maybe you can still make it to the garage. Oh, hurry to page 137. It is a different page. They're right next to each other, though. Oops, you didn't hurry fast enough. Yip yip, woof. As they bite into your neck, you think sadly, my life really has gone to the dogs. The end. Okay, so we're gonna head to the garage again and hope that there's like another option within that. Let me double check before I start reading it in case there's not. Okay, there's no more, you guys. I mean, there's more, but I don't know how to find it. I have no idea. I think that's it, you guys. I don't know. I don't know how to find anymore. So, we did it, everyone. We did a lot. It definitely is a, it definitely was a good call out that we should have been tracking our endings. So maybe next time we should like keep a tally as we go along to see how many of the endings we can find. Because like, I mean, it doesn't say exactly, it just says over 20. Like, do you guys think that we found 20 endings? I don't know. Probably? I'm not sure that we got over 20 though. Definitely over 15. That was it. So, I guess I can grab. I have one other book in the house. I'm not going to start it, but I'll give you guys the preview. Okay, so here is our next book. It is called The Creepy Creations of Professor Shock. This will be for next week. Yeah, and then I have a package with like 11 more of them arriving at my house in the near future. So there's like an infinite amount of this that will continue to happen. What do you mean, how accurately do they calculate their potential endings? I mean, I'm sure they know how many endings are in the book when they make the book. Friday's better. Since it does take a few hours, any day works for me because I'm just here in my house doing nothing. I spent a large amount of today trying to download programs so that I could try and get this on Twitch and do like more fancy stuff, and I could not get the programs to work, and so I just got this basic level, but maybe I can figure out more this week. Thank you so much, Ashley, for loving me and what I'm doing. I'm still kind of working. We've got a bunch of like distance training and stuff that we're doing, which is pretty cool. So I've got entertaining things, and I'm still getting paid, which is awesome because a lot of people are not. So I have time to do stuff like this. So now I get to figure out how I dress up like this guy for next week. Yeah, I definitely can try and figure out some music and stuff. And if you guys have more input on things that would make it more exciting and stuff, let me know. Because, yeah, that'd be cool. What do you mean Aiko wants to know my costume? Oh, for the next one, you mean? Lots of tin cans, robot music. I have so much like metallic silver clothes and stuff. I feel like I can do that. I only have metallic pink face paint. I don't have metallic silver. So I could just scarily paint my whole self like a pink robot. Dress up and give hype, like to get people to get on. One, I'm like 90% sure, Ashley, that your leggings are not going to fit me. Like, you almost guarantee. And I don't even have to wear pants at all because you guys can't see that part. So I don't need any metallic leggings for this. Mostly just like metallic shoulder covers. I mean, I am wearing pants because it's cold in my house, but I don't have to. So I think I'm going to call it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me and giving me something to do and making me feel like I get to interact with other human beings and not just my cats all the time. So much appreciation. I'm going to try and continue to do this and make it like cooler every time. So please plan for that and I guess get more people to come watch too. Okay, that's it. Peace out.